shows you're offline here.
Yeah.
Does that... Oh, shit, something's starting.
Starting. Stream health. We are live, apparently.
Oh, there we are. Look at that.
Look out. Modern technology, it actually works.
That was before.
Yeah. All right.
So are we a little behind?
Yeah, it's a little behind on the...
You're drinking right now?
Yeah, yeah. Alright. The internet can totally see you now. Stop, use your encoder. It's a whole lot easier on the Yes, Sean, we started early. Mostly so that we can test this stuff out. We're going to be talking about the drinking, the beers here as soon as it gets to 8 o'clock. We're just kind of testing stuff out. Can you see us and hear us okay? Live and in living color. Sweet. How's the volume? How's the picture?
I'm watching it too.
All right. It's actually going to work.
So what we're seeing is a little behind, huh?
Yeah. This is our first time, so trying to make sure. Yeah, we're trying to make sure that this is all going right, and we're figuring out exactly how slow, because we got a little video feedback on us, and we're trying to see how far behind it is. Oh damn, 4K. All right.
Nice.
Man, I'm not sure that you want this in 4K. But
right? That episode of Family Guy?
Yeah.
Look what she looks like in HD. Well, at least the beer looks good in 4K.
Yep. Dang. All right, well, I guess we can we can talk a little bit here, and then as soon as it gets to 8 o'clock, then we'll go on ahead and kind of reset. But for everybody, the camera's that way, by the way. Sitting here watching this, sitting here trying not to watch the. We're watching the chat thing here, but we probably all look at the camera. But no, what we're drinking tonight, my brother Adam Rosedahl, his wife Melissa Rosedahl, and their friends Jared and Emily Rudy own Norseman Brewing Company, as you see here on the growler. They've been doing homebrew stuff for a long time, and I've mentioned it in previous videos. That if you watch the beer frames and stuff, then you know what we're talking about here. Yep. All right, Rodney.
Lots of love already.
But
LOL.
yeah. We got Sean was one of the unfortunate victims of last week's snafu with the stream stuff.
Luke apologizes, Sean.
Yeah, I do apologize. So, but what we're drinking tonight is I've got their Vienna Lager.
Their Bud Light of beers, as dark as that.
Yeah. It's got this really nice roasted flavor. So it's a lager. So it's a lighter. I mean, we're not trying to get hammered here. I don't know what's going on upstairs, but this one's fantastic. He's got the Odin's One IPA. It's got a super high IBU.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
hoppy.
80, yeah, it's hoppy. So it's 80 IBUs. I think it's 7.3%. Mine's 4.9%. I think 22 or 28 IBUs. If my brother's watching this, he'll probably
he'll correct us. It's good.
But they are located here in Topeka, Kansas, at 830 North Kansas. You can find them on Facebook. We got all kinds of stuff too. Like I got the sticker that's on my laptop there, and they've even got really a cool saying on the back of the growler. It's not on this one, but it's on their newer ones that they've got. It's a mortal brood, Odin approved.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Coasters.
Yep.
K&B Smokehouse out there.
Yeah, they've
fantastic
got
barbecue.
Yeah, they've got a barbecue food truck in there too. That's just great. They do all kinds of stuff like smoked meatloaf with jalapenos and cream cheese and stuff. And
ooh, it's good stuff.
We got this nice stoneware mug that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
Really cool place, really rustic place.
Send some breakfast to Wisconsin.
So Jake wants a stronger pitch black. Blue Hammer, Purple Hammer want to try a different company.
Oh man, this is a storm stream. This is a storm channel, by the way. Pay no attention to the hammer on the. But
well, they do have a Black Widow urethane that's much stronger than a pitch black.
It's pretty strong.
Roto Grip hot cell. A couple of balls out there with asymmetric cores and urethane that's going to give you a stronger shape, much stronger shape than any of those basic urethanes.
I think most of the other ones with the bigger cores in them, like the pitch black doesn't have the strongest core, but like the Black Widow and the hot cell, they've got really strong cores in them. So despite being urethane, they kind of do need some oil, especially up front, to get them down the lane.
Yeah,
they still kind of shape like urethane. They're a little bit quicker on the back end, but they actually do need some oil up front. So beware.
They are usable on a house pattern. We've proved it.
Want to send some breakfast to Wisconsin? Beer, not breakfast. Ha ha. All right, yoinkity doinkity. This ball fits between the Vibe and the Code Red that has a benchmark type reaction. As far as on the, I'm in love with the All Out Show Off right now. It's just that nice kind of, and if you want something that doesn't get its due credit, that's the Torrent. It's kind of the most, it's the quietest, it's one of the quietly best balls out there, in my opinion, at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm on the flip side with the Rebel Yell, one that's kind of sneaking under the radar. Of course, new GB3, that thing's an all-out monster. So, a couple of options for you there.
It does hook a lot.
Yeah, it's strong, like the beer.
Yeah. Hopefully not too strong. I was looking. They got this new milk stout that's on nitro, and it doesn't really. It's one of those things where you got to go to the brewery to drink it because it just doesn't work right with it just doesn't come out right in the growler. So yeah, I tried it today while I was there. It was really, really good.
Nice.
All right, Sean throwing the Sonic. Yeah, it's strong. When you're thinking, even when you've got something like the Code Black that is R2S and it's got that big ASIM core in it, it's still R2S Pearl, so it's strong, but it's not crazy. The Sonic is crazy. Like, I think it's the strongest. It's the strongest R2S Pearl ball. I think I said in my review that they've put out. It just doesn't make any sense. So
it's pretty rolly,
Yeah.
Looks like it's asymmetric when it's rolling.
Yeah, Jake, Torrent's amazing. It doesn't get enough due credit. So throw a plastic ball to pick up. I actually, when I started bowling a long time ago, I just had the one ball. I think I just went up in weight, and it was a Brunswick Purple Monster.
Nice.
And that was it. That was what I had, so I had to learn to pick up the 10-pin with it, or I was just missing the 10-pin. So I got used to using that, and so to me, a plastic ball is kind of a waste of a spot in a bag. It just, if you're going to a tournament, you want to take 6 balls. I don't want to take 5 balls in a plastic ball. I want to take 6 balls.
Yeah.
So.
Completely agree. I've never thrown a plastic ball religiously for spares. Kind of same thing. Grew up with one ball. Never had plastic. Flatten it out, make the spare. It's 6 striking options, kind of like you were talking about. I don't want to go in and say I left the one ball that would have struck today at home because I brought a plastic ball.
Yeah, and most of the time I just, whatever matchup hybrid's been the ball of choice for me, or a Hustle Ink whenever I carry it. That's usually my weakest ball is my spare ball, or one that I'm not using at the moment. So
Roto Grip makes some pretty good spare balls.
Yeah, yeah. Man, the Wreck-It was one of the best spare balls ever.
Completely true.
All right. Something between your Pitch Black and your Marvel Pearl. Probably Hustle Ink. Hustle Ink's looking... I think a Vibe would probably be a little too strong because the Marvel Pearl's really pretty smooth and those Vibes are
much sharper on the back end.
Vibes are awesome. You didn't hear that from me though. # Storm Nation. If you could throw a ball from any other company, what company and what ball?
That's a really good question.
I think I told somebody, probably the Venom Shock, honestly. Venom Shock or maybe one of them spider balls.
The spider ones are pretty good.
Yeah. Inception Pearl is another one. Really
that
like
Inception
the look of
line's
that one.
really good. The Honey Badger obviously is catching eyes.
The Badger.
But I think my answer for that... Code Black. I really like the Code Black.
Nick Adams, why hasn't Storm come out with a good ball since the IQ Tour?
The ball against 9.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, what haven't you liked? Because that's what makes me curious. I got a lot of good stuff that I like right now. That Codex that's coming out.
Every company's making great stuff.
Every company's making good stuff right now.
It's a great time to be a bowler that really wants to bowl because there's unlimited options, unlimited great options available to purchase now. That are just, you almost can't go wrong once you find the shape that you really want to see.
Yep. PBA 60th anniversary ball. I actually haven't seen it. Have you seen the PBA 60th anniversary ball?
Nope.
We might have to look at that.
I'm gonna Google that right now.
Okay. We need a secretary. We need somebody here on another computer that's. Come on.
Hey,
give me something. Give me something. Let's see.
Yep.
Dagnabbit. All right. Opinion on the Code X. I haven't thrown it yet, so I have no opinion. But it's one of those. I said in my preview video. It just makes sense. It's R2S solid, and it's got the code core. So I can't imagine, especially with them saying that it's supposed to be kind of an Alpha Crux replacement. I can't imagine it being bad. I just can't. I mean, I can't. It just doesn't. Doesn't even.
It matters what it smells like.
Don't even think it's gonna.
If they put a good smell in it, it'll smell good.
Yeah. Wow. PBA 60. That looks pretty cool.
It's really good, visibly appealing.
Yeah.
There's not much information other than it's blueberry scented.
Oh, dang.
But there's.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's good looking, for sure.
Actually, this is the first time I've heard about it. So.
Yeah, I haven't either. It took me a little bit to find it on Google, as a matter of fact. But good looking ball for sure.
Yeah. Opinion on the IQ Pearl. I never had an IQ Pearl. I've seen some people, and it was kind of for me like the IQ Tour Solid. Sometimes it was really great sometimes, and sometimes it wasn't. But I think it was popular with a lot of people. Obviously, they discontinued it, so it wasn't as popular as the Solid. But I never threw one, so can't really comment too much on it. But I mean, if you're shooting okay with it, that's all that matters.
Right? Yeah. Wes Malott likes it.
Yeah. Ryan Miller likes it.
Ryan Miller. Team.
League video hectic. Yeah, I tried to use. I started out with the IQ Tour, and it was back ending too much, so I had to put that away. And then I tried the Sonic, and obviously that just was way too much. If you can use the Hectic, if the Hectic is like usable on something, and you're trying to use the Sonic, that's what we call bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I think I went down to the all-out show-off, and then I ended up with the Hectic, which the Hectic does own that house. And but comparing it to Hustle Ink's a lot quicker on the back end. They're really similar until they get to the spot, and then the Hectic's really smooth and archy, and the ink is quite a bit quicker on friction. So.
You know, I'm not going to admit to being a Storm fan, but I do like watching you throw that ball.
Yeah.
That ball and you guys match up.
Oh, man.
Hands down, worst ball I've ever thrown was the Match Pearl. Completely. Well, no. Actually, we were talking about this. The Match Pearl is the second worst ball I've ever thrown. The worst ball I've ever thrown is the Ebonite Savage Flip, and that's going back a ways for you probably have to be our age, 35-ish, to even remember that ball.
Mine was a Columbia Action.
Man, the Action.
I had one that was mismarked pretty bad. and drilled it. It was huge expectations. It was huge through college. All the college players in Wichita, other than Wichita State, but everybody else that was in Wichita for college was using them. And I drilled mine, and it rolled like a Loco Solid. So nothing wrong with Loco Solid.
Yeah.
But when you're expecting an action,
when you're expecting an action,
and
you get a Loco Solid, and
it's pretty poor. The rest of them are really good.
All out show off and high road are identical on hook. They've got slightly different shapes. I think the all out's a little bit earlier, and the high road goes a little bit longer. But for me, they're virtually identical on the shape, or on the hook potential actually. Turbo interchangeable fingertips.
Great for demo balls.
Yeah, they're great for demo balls. I'm not sure. Obviously, you have some when you put in demo balls, they get put in and taken out, put in and taken out, so they probably get chewed up a lot faster with the demo balls than normal. But yeah, it's a really good idea. I don't actually use them, but really probably should, because everybody has those nights where
you're just between grips.
You're either a little swollen or it's cold outside and your hands shrunk up a little bit. But yeah, the interchangeable fingers are great.
Be prepared for a wider bridge for sure.
Vice better including their thumb grip? No. Yeah.
I do use switch grip on the turbo side, and I really enjoy it. We drill a lot of them out of the pro shop. A lot of people really enjoy them. Drill some Vice too, and there are the Vice fans out there. That's perfectly fine. To me, slugs are really tacky, really hard for me to let go, and somebody who has the grip pressure that I do, any kind of tacky is not good for me.
Want a urethane to throw in the soup that is junior gold patterns. That's going to be, like we were talking about earlier, that's going to be your hot cell, that's going to be your Black Widow urethane, stuff like that. So a lot of people throw Storm because of how strong they are. Do you guys really think brands matter? Is it more so bowler matchup? Number one is bowler matchup.
Always.
But going from brand to brand, there are brand characteristics. You will notice that as you go from, Storm's always been kind of the long and strong brand, Brunswick's kind of the early and smooth brand.
Columbia kind of long and snappy.
Yeah, and then some of the Ebonite brands are kind of in between. Motive stuff's really rolly, so it's about finding stuff that matches up well with you. I think most of the companies out there will have balls here and there that will match up for you, but if you go back and forth between brands, it can be nice to have the options, but at the same time, with him being all EBI stuff, with me being all Storm stuff, there's a familiarity with the kind of shape that you build, and so it just helps you be more consistent and more confident in layout options and stuff like that. So it's just, I prefer being brand specific, or however you want to put that, but I kind of like, obviously, I mean,
right.
We're on staff with companies anyway, so we don't have a choice. But if I did have a choice, in the past, I have always been brand loyal. So if I was throwing Brunswick, I was throwing Brunswick. If I was throwing Motive, I was throwing Motive. If throwing Hammer, I was throwing Hammer. When I was throwing Storm, I was throwing Storm. So,
and that kind of goes with why it's so easy to be brand specific, because once you find a ball that you've got some success with, because there's a familiarity between the next series of balls, there's always a little bit of security blanket that you kind of know what it's going to do. It may be stronger, it may be a little bit longer, but the overall characteristics kind of match up. And then sometimes you kind of run into a bad shape or a bad batch of balls. Got to be not afraid to try something else.
Yeah. Jake, every company is making great stuff except for Brunswick. Hashtag no comment. What does Andrew have in the bag? What do you have in the bag, Andrew? It's actually Anthony, but
let's see.
Yeah, what do you have in the bag? I talk about mine every so often on my podcast, but what are you throwing?
Well, I've got a league bag right now. The ball that comes out is a Verdict Pearl. I've got my trusty Gauntlet Fury that stays in the league bag, and a Rebel Yell, Hammer Rebel Yell, that's in my league bag. I drilled a Game Breaker 3, drilled a Fierce Phobia, Just a little bit too strong for the house that I bowl in, but it's going to be great if I can ever feed it to a little bit of oil. I have the new hammer rip balls coming. Really excited for those, but can't really tell much till I get them in the hand. That Gauntlet Fury right now is my go-to. If it gets tricky or if I'm struggling, that tends to be the ball that ends up in my hand, for sure.
All right. Bought a new ball in years, looking to buy 4 balls. Rev rate's 500 plus. What would you recommend? You're probably going to want either stuff that's smooth or stuff that's low end. So something that comes to mind is the drive, which is smooth. It's a decent amount of hook, but it's also smooth. It's nothing that's going to. It doesn't have. It's got a pretty high RG, so it's nothing that's going to start rolling on you. Like guys with high rev rates don't need something that does all the rolling for them. They need something that kind of lays off, and that was kind of the idea with the drive and the timeless, is that for high rev guys, you are the ones that create the roll, really. So you don't need something that's going to just do all the work for you. So I would say drive, Hustle Link. I would tell everybody to get a Hustle Link. I mean, I think I've heard somebody the other day told me that they just didn't match up with the Hustle Link, and I just didn't understand.
Stop lying to me.
It's like somebody not liking a vibe. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So, I don't know how you are with urethane. I'm not a big fan of urethane, but Pitch Black, Hot Cell, Black Widow urethane come to mind.
Oh yeah, big time.
And let's see, something else.
Unless you got to throw the ball 10 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Then you're going to need plastic.
The Hustle HYB is another one that I don't particularly care for, but it's really smooth. It's really smooth. It's kind of a lower end. It hooks more than it's supposed to, but it is pretty. It's controllable hook, so that might be another one to look at.
You may go back on extra frame too from the TOC qualifying. I'm pretty sure I saw BJ Moore throwing the HYB quite a bit towards the end of the set, so that may be something to look at.
Yeah. Man, Blueberry like the Fusion. Let me tell you what, we drive to Nationals every year, and there was 4 or 5 years ago, my buddy Chris Leftwich, not in town anymore, he's down in Mobile, Alabama at the moment, but he had an IQ Tour Fusion, and since we drive, everybody else flies, we take all the bowling balls, we just load up in a van and then we go. It was Reno or Vegas. I'm pretty sure it was Reno. But he just drilled an IQ Tour Fusion, and it was Blueberry Muffin all the way down there, and Blueberry Muffin all the way back, and Blueberry Muffin in the hotel rooms at night. So yeah, I definitely remember. I'll never forget that scent. So, scent is the strongest sense tied to memory, by the way. Fun fact. The more you know. Did you bowl good in league? No, not really, but like I said, when you can bowl bad and shoot... oh, that's going to be an interesting one. When you bowl bad and shoot 630, sometimes those are the better nights. Like I think it's when you look at a league average, I think it's not about how big your big sets are. It's how big your low sets are. Like if you average 220 and you shoot 550 every once in a while, that's not really going to help. If your bad sets are like 620 or 630,
right,
you just kind of escape and just don't even worry about it. So,
absolutely.
Who do you think will win the TOC? I don't even know who's on the show. I've been spending all weekend getting this ready and putting up 5 videos and whatever else. I don't even know who's on the show.
So fortunately, I've watched a lot of the TOC.
Oh, okay, so he keeps it on the Pro Shop. So
I do keep it on the Pro Shop. I think right now it's going to be really hard to beat Jesper. He had a huge couple of sets coming into match play, lots of wins, came from down the ladder a little ways. For some reason, I'm a bit of a fan of Matt O'Grady. I like watching him throw the ball. He's spunky, kind of like to watch him, so I'd like to see him win. Of course, I'm an EBI guy, looking for our guy to win. But I believe when you get Jesper lined up with urethane, he is absolutely unbeatable.
He's just... It's just unreal. It's kind of like the Jacob Buttriff thing. When he gets lined up, you're just going to lose. That's just what's going to happen. Jesper Svensson, it just depends on... If he's got it going, you just might as well enjoy the show. Just enjoy your nice, close spot. your prime seating on the TV show, and
Yep, I'm a big fan of obviously Extra Frame and the PBA, so I got to watch a lot of it. The most surprising and awesome for me to watch, Andrew Anderson. Tons of big games, shot 300 using urethane up the gutter, and when you watch the early rounds of qualifying to the late rounds of match play, you just can't believe urethane ever even was in play. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a really fun show to watch, I think.
yeah. Nick, what's the difference between 3/8 inch pin to pap or higher pin to pap, such as 6 inches and everything in between on asymmetric balls? I've got you a link down here that I'm going to put in the chat. I know it's we've got a lot of questions coming in, so which is awesome, but we want to try to answer them all. But this is the best. I went to try to redo my dual angle light video. I told everybody that I was gonna redo it in the first place. I did it like 4 years ago, and I was gonna update it. But I tried to do that this weekend actually, and the best. I'm gonna go ahead and enter this and send the link there. This is the absolute best thing. Just go to the wiki. It just explains it so well. And actually, what you're talking about, scroll down to page 5. That's gonna have all the pin links and asymmetric versus symmetric, and it's illustrated, and it's just the best way to do it. I tried to just read that thing, and it just read it. That's I can't do anything better. If I tried, I'd just be reading it word for word anyway. It's just a great resource. So go check that out.
Basically works out the flare and flare potential.
Yeah, and it is different on asymmetric versus symmetric.
And there's a very good picture, and it really explains it pretty well.
So. True identical solids, polishing one to basically act the same or close to a pearl is this. It depends on the solid. If you get like something with a nano cover, it's going to be really smooth, so it's not going to act like a pearl at all. But if you get something a little bit, if you get a solid with some pop on it, yeah, if you polish it, it's going to do something. It's kind of like the Hustle Ink. It's a solid cover, but it comes polished and it's got some pop on the back end, so it really depends on the particular ball that you're looking at. Daredevil Trick, if you polish that, it's still pretty smooth. Show Off, if you polish it, it's already pretty snappy on the back end, even though it does have the nano cover on it. For some reason, it's actually pretty poppy on the back end. So actually, when I polished mine, it wasn't snappy. Rocket Ship is another one that comes to mind. If you put some polish on that one got a little giddy up on the back end. So with the way that hybrids are getting, it's almost better to just get a shiny hybrid, something like an all-out Show Off or something like that. That's because it kind of acts like a polished solid. There's a lot of hybrids out there that, to me, act like polished solids.
Yeah. Matrix, Ebonite Matrix. That ball comes out and it's real sharp on the back end. That Good Business cover on all the game breakers and the Matrix. Another ball that's a solid. It's a hybrid, but it's a lot solid. But it's real snappy.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get a lot of hook out of my ball, but I'm struggling. What would be your tip to be able to hook the ball? For starters, you're probably going to need it. It kind of comes down to equipment sometimes, because it just like trying to hit a golf ball a long ways with a 9-iron. If you're not, you can hit it as hard as you want, but it's a 9-iron's a 9-iron, so sometimes you need to take a driver out. So
the pros aren't hitting 9s.
Yeah, not knowing your specific situation, I don't know what kind of equipment you've got, but you want to make sure that you've got a ball that hooks first, and then it's just a lot of practice. There's a lot of really good videos on YouTube. If you just go do a YouTube search and you go like Mike Fagan slow release. They've got a lot of slow release videos, or actually they have some compilations so you can see how a lot of pros release the ball in slow motion. Mike Fagan to me is one of the best ones because he's got that. I tell people to think of it like a yo-yo. You don't want to use your whole hand to try to hook the ball. You want to just kind of uncoil it and snap through with your fingers at the bottom, just like a yo-yo. Just kind of let it go. Mm-hmm. No thumb. Well, I mean, keep your thumb in the ball, but Cologne,
go two-handed.
Cologne, Germany. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
It's always a lot of fun when I talk to people from other countries. I've got a guy from, oh, where is he from? I think he's from the Philippines. I talk to him every once in a while, and then some people from Sweden and all over the place. So it's really awesome to think that, you know, we're sitting in the basement of my house in Topeka, Kansas, and somebody in Germany, thousands and thousands of miles away, is watching us talk and drink beer. Germany, great place for beer, though, by the way.
I love German beer. Yeah. So send us some beer and we'll review it.
Yeah. Heard anything about the new Idol? The new Idol is actually really cool. I'm gonna I put up my my preview video, so I do have a video for it. If you're interested, I do have the information. So if you go into my video list and go back a little ways, there will be the Idol preview. I'll have all the information. Now, I guess what the deal is with it is that it's got kind of, there's been a lot of pictures that people have seen. It's like, well, one looks, it's supposed to be magenta, one will look purple, one will look magenta, one will look something different and whatever. Chris Schlemmer, kind of the brand manager, put out something about it, and he said this is the first time that either company has done a solid nano cover ball, and so it's making some really interesting color differences in the balls that come out. Some of them are more purple, some of them are more magenta, some of them are phased, some of them are not phased. So it's going to be really interesting. It wasn't really intentional. It's something that they just found out when they started getting, you know, the batches out. And so your Idol could look quite different from somebody else's, and I kind of think that's cool. Just because you can have your
own ball,
your kind of own unique ball, and your Idol may look a lot different than somebody else's Idol, and I think that's kind of cool. So, Roto's new polyester. It's actually not a new polyester. They're kind of re-releasing the Roto Clear Poly that they had several years ago, and it was so popular, and they discontinued it, and everybody wondered why, and so now they brought it back. So it's Jim Foreman has one.
Yep.
Jim Foreman has one. Are the interchangeable thumbs worth it?
100%.
Yeah, I would say, especially if my thumb is really simple. It's a round hole and a little bit of bevel. So I just pop a slug in there, drill the hole out, bevel the top off, and I'm good to go. If you oval your thumb, if you have trouble with feel or something, the good thing about that is, especially for the people that take longer to, I mean, a lot of the pros will take a half an hour to work out a thumb hole, and the interchangeable thumb specifically, if you drill a lot of bowling balls, or even if you don't, if you have 6 bowling balls, and you can take that same feel from ball to ball to ball. I know that sometimes where I'll get done drilling something and I'll go, well, I either got too much bevel or not quite enough bevel, and sometimes I have to go back and adjust it, and then I think, well, I probably should do the interchangeable thumbs. But
he said that at least 10 times in the last 4 weeks.
It must just be laziness or something. But I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. Probably should, because getting that perfect feel is super important. There's times where I put a ball away because it just didn't come out. It was reacting good, but it just wouldn't come off right.
Right.
And so when you can't throw a ball because you didn't get enough bevel on it or something, or too much bevel or something, that's never a good situation. So I probably should just go ahead and break down and do it.
I've got a real tough thumb to drill. He'll attest, I went through fit change after fit change after fit change, just trying to figure it out. Thumbs are so hard, and if you're a feel player, and feel is that important, and ball to ball, like he said, just a little bit of bevel here, it's a pain in the ass really to reslug a ball and try to get it back to the right shape. But that interchangeable thumb, completely worth it.
Yeah,
100%. It's I will never bowl without something similar, for sure.
It is a really good idea. So, why do bigger companies not offer longer warranties on their equipment? Part of the deal is that I've talked about this before, but bowling balls cracking is rarely the fault of the ball. I would say 90 to 95% of the time it's on you as the owner. Here's the funny thing about bowling balls. If you use them, they tend not to crack. If they sit in one place for too long because they're 3 pieces, it's just a thing of reactive bowling balls. It's, the older balls, plastic, urethane, they just don't crack because, they're not reactive. They're different chemicals, different formulations. Just like anything else, you get tires. you have softer tires like snow tires, they'll wear out faster than harder tires will. And that may not correlate specifically, but if a ball sits in one place for too long, the core settles and it will crack. If you subject it to temperature changes, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, it'll crack.
Use it every couple of months.
Yeah, using it off as possible. And sometimes they do have bad batches. Sometimes bad batches do come out. But most of the time, it is the fault of the owner of why a ball cracks. And in the customer situation, it's kind of like most of the time they don't know that. Most of the time they don't know. Well, they just went to pick up their ball and it's cracked. And it's like, well, this piece of crap cracked. They need to replace it because their equipment's defective, which most of the time is not the case. So it's kind of a fine line to walk. A lot of the times companies will go on ahead. If you do call them up, even if it's past warranty, a lot of them are really good about customer service. And so if you call them up and say, if it's like 3 or 4 years or something, stuff just wears out. So at that point, but if we're talking like 6 months to a year or something, I think most of them do have up to a year. Right. Hammer has the 3 years because of the carbon fiber deal.
Right.
I think that's a patented thing, so I don't think anybody else can do the carbon fiber thing. But anything really past a year, I think they kind of figure that you get your use out of it. And again, it's one of those things where one person could ruin it for everybody else, because if you have somebody that has something for so long and then they intentionally do something to it just to try to scam somebody out of a free bowl so that they don't have to buy something else, it's kind of a brand protection thing. It's kind of there's a lot of factors that go into it. So, that may not be the right answer, but it's about the best answer that I've got.
Well, the first thing I do if I got something like that is, I stick my finger as far as I can in the thumb hole, see if there's, because a lot of times, especially this time of year, didn't take the balls inside last night, they froze, that increases and then decreases, that's the first thing I do. Because it's all the time. So he's right. It's about 95%.
Bowling balls are hard. They're not flexible. And when things get colder, they shrink. And when things get warmer, they expand. And when you have a solid object that shrinks and swells and shrinks and swells and shrinks and swells, over time, that's just going to create fracture. That's just what's going to happen.
Yep.
So, help my 12-year-old target better. Also need a step down from the Hammer Diesel. Vibe would probably be.
Vibe, absolutely.
Vibe Hustle Inc. Kind of what you're looking at. And help the 12-year-old target better. The one thing is sometimes it's just a practice thing. Sometimes when they're that young, it's not necessarily about targeting better. It's just about muscle memory, coordination, especially when they're that age. They're hitting some growth spurts, and so just walking sometimes can be.
Yeah, it all comes down to the fundamentals. Really straight arm swings. Bowlers with really great straight arm swings tend to be a little bit more accurate on the lane.
Yeah, and there's a mental trick sometimes too, because when you walk up, you look at the pins, your brain automatically targets the pins, but your target isn't necessarily the pins, it's the mark on the lane that when the ball hooks, we hit it, and then the ball hooks, and then it will finish at the pins. But sometimes your head can just associate, well, the pins, I'm aiming at the pins, not that arrow on the lane. So it might be one of those things to just tell him, make sure that you focus on your mark on the lane instead of looking at the pins. So
make sure you watch the ball go over the target. Yeah. That's real important, because you don't know what you analyze, what kind of information comes back if you miss that little piece. Watch it go over the target.
Dagnab. We're getting a little behind.
We're never going to be able to keep up with all this. This is crazy.
Oh man. Yeah, this is quite a bit. Yeah, this is quite a bit further down than we are. Okay, I'll try to get through these a little bit faster. Think Rotogrip will bring any of the overseas sales balls. The interesting thing about that is when they send balls overseas, it's kind of a contract of sorts, where they either can't release them here or can't release them here for a while, and so it really depends on just the kind of contract.
Right.
Jason Belmonte make history this year.
I don't know. He makes history every year.
Yeah, he makes history every year. So the bet's probably more, won't he make history?
I heard on Extra Frame, and I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's over 20% of majors that he's bowled that he's won.
Yeah.
20%. That's an unreal number.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is he's got like what 10 or 11 majors now, and he's won like 16 titles.
16 titles and 9 majors, I think is
Okay, I think he just got to 10 or something like that. We'd have to look up the numbers, but he's actually got more major tournament wins than just regular tournament wins, which is crazy. Major Mika.
Right.
Shadow Ops, guy on my live stream the other night actually was throwing a Shadow Ops. It's kind of like any other urethane ball. It starts off Kreitzer. Kreitzer got one.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like it looks like a pearl, like a strong pearl urethane, like Pitch Blue, and add like 4 boards. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Add 4 boards.
Add 4 boards.
Nice
Yeah.
math.
Yep. 4 boards, not an arrow. Talk about bags. 3-ball tournament rollers. Those are the best things that
best
anybody
thing
ever
on the
invented.
planet.
And we use backpacks for all our other stuff. And yeah, it looks douchey when you've got a backpack on. You're walking into a tournament with a bunch of 3-ball tournament rollers. For one, they don't take up much room at all. The backpack's nice because everything just goes in there. There's really no space for anything in the tournament rollers, but they stack nice in the car, and
they're not bulky.
Yeah, they're not bulky. They don't take up a whole lot of space. It's easy to navigate them all over the place. A lot of people will use them for airplane flights because if you have a bigger, nicer bag, and they beat the crap out of it.
Oh yeah.
That sucks, but if you have one of the tournament rollers, number one, it takes less space on the airplane, and even if they do throw it around a lot, it's not going to hurt nothing. So, those are awesome.
Completely. Best bag on the planet.
GB3 and Sonic comparable. Maybe if you polish the living hell out of the GB3. It's really strong.
Yeah.
It's really strong, but yeah, I think what you'd have to do if they were to be anywhere close,
to the front,
you would have to just polish it, just mirror shine it. And it might not be...
I'm not sure that it'd be
It might
much
not
better.
be far off, so... Like the fight or any of the fights. The original fight I actually liked, but I had it left-handed, so everything kind of looks better on the left side, in my opinion anyway. But I really did like the street fight. The street fight was kind of like... street fight actually a lot like the drive. I think the drive hooks more, but the street fight has that same kind of just easy, nice arcing motion to it. So.
Big core.
Yep. Things going off. Bell. Oh. You're out, aren't you?
It's got to be drink time.
Yeah.
How do we order this? Oh, snap. I'm not ringing the bell.
Yeah. I'm ringing the bell.
You can explain what's about to happen.
That calls the lane waitress. Code red on my house shot, rolling early, losing energy on the back end. Code black wouldn't be a big difference. It's also been discontinued, so if the code red is rolling too early and burning up, you're probably going to want a fairly big step down, something like a high road pearl or something like that. Because the code red, I think most of what I've heard about the code red is it just doesn't quite have enough giddy up or enough pop on the back end. It's just really smooth and it just doesn't quite have that finish on the back end. So if you're having trouble getting it down the lane, you need to go to a lot weaker ball, not code black. Again, we're talking high road pearl, something that's going to get way down the lane a lot easier than that.
Cherry vibe.
Can't afford a hustle ink. Well, yeah, you just bought a whole bunch of stuff, man.
Oh,
snap! She brought it down. Yeah, let me see the. Let's see the bottle. Show the mortal.
Oh yeah.
Get her in the picture. Yeah, the Mortal Brood, Odin approved. That's really pretty cool.
What's really good is the stuff that's inside.
Yeah.
Do you want to fill yours up while I'm down here?
I'm good. Well,
So
actually.
you can ring the bell again?
Well, yeah. We'll ring the bell later. Actually, this is getting a little warm. So.
Even if we
Okay.
don't
just go
need
ahead.
anything, I'm going to ring that bell.
Yeah.
But you said you weren't going to.
Angel's down here
Not the first
helping
time.
us refill our beers, by the way. So say hi to Angel. Everybody really appreciate the response on my podcast today. I think we definitely like that, and Storm's going to like it too. So very good
Thank
stuff. But anyway, yeah, you got to get yourself a House of Link sometime. But you bought a whole bunch of stuff here recently, so don't worry about it, man.
I think next time you got to warn me about the bell so I can have $1 ready.
Yeah.
The tipper next time.
You watch Prodigy Bowlers tour on YouTube? No, but I've heard about it. Find you guys. So I'll probably have to check that out. Sounds interesting, but find two guys talking about bowling more entertaining than a Winter Olympics. I haven't actually gotten to watch any of the Olympics yet, so I'm
going to tell you. Yesterday, I watched the opening ceremonies, and they had the Olympics logo in a big circle as everybody was kind of walking out. They're supporting their countries or whatever, and there was 50 to 100 people. And all they did the entire time that somebody was coming in, as far as the countries being introduced, all they did was like two-step and dance.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time. I mean, that was well over an hour long, and they never stopped. So yeah, us talking about bowling right now has got to be more entertaining than that.
Yeah.
Give us a like, for sure. If you're out there and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel, give us a like. Let's see if we can get more people to take a look at the video.
Yeah, buddy.
Somebody else can get a chance to enjoy two guys talking about bowling.
Yeah, and drinking beer. And this stuff's good.
In my bowling glass that I stole from Angel.
I've got one of these special. This is another thing that Norseman has. It's actually laser etched on the bottom to help with releasing the bubbles or something. So it's...
Yeah, but it agitates the pour, so the aroma releases a little better.
Beer technology.
Right.
Ann Beavers, hi Ann. Currently EBI loyal. So
good job.
Looking for third to complete house bag, preferably medium to dry. Switch from Brunswick. Thanks you for your. Okay, so you got a Tyrant, Gauntlet, Fury. Looking for a third to complete house bag. Those are two pretty.
Those are big aggressive balls.
Pretty big hooking balls. But I remember you saying that you kind of have a style, or I believe I remember you saying that you have a style kind of like Angel does. So, bigger hooking balls, obviously great for people with not a super high rev rate. So,
right.
But those are pretty aggressive balls. I don't think you're going to find, there's not a whole lot of stuff that's more aggressive than those. So a third would probably be something for like some burn. So
something to be a little cleaner through the front part of the lane.
So if it's Ebonite products,
I'm thinking the Fierce Phobia is a really good choice. The GB3 is another really, really good choice. You're not losing any performance. You're going to a symmetrical ball, so you're going to see a little bit different shape. But those two balls are fantastic. One of the new pieces you may hear a lot about, especially if you follow EBI at all, the new track Alias. That's a really big ASIM. If you ever got a chance to throw a Mako, most of the reviews tend to say they're a little stronger than the Mako.
Yeah.
You can also lay it out to be perfectly symmetrical, so it'll slow down a little faster on the back end, but you still have the big shape up front. So
and it does say here too, preferably medium to dry. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Oh, medium to dry.
Yeah. So you're thinking like maybe Rebel
Yell
vibe.
Yep, Rebel Yell, Hammer vibe. Believe it or not, even for a solid, the Spoiler is a really good choice. A little higher RG core. Really fantastic. The Juke is another really good choice on the EBI lines. So there's quite a few options, especially having the 4 brands to choose from.
Extra Frame, best $60 I've ever spent. Extra Frame's actually gotten a lot better over the last couple of years.
It's fantastic.
A few years ago, it used to be just awful. The picture quality was always awful, and they always had just the one pair that they were sitting on. Now that they can go all over the place, the quality's a lot better. The commentary is a lot better. The Extra Frame's a really good product now. So
fantastic.
It's
really unfortunate. They had an incident where the trailer or something got stolen with all the media equipment in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So they went back down. They got they didn't quite have the same cameras, but they immediately got back on the bus, found a way to get set up and carry on. So if you're watching and you stole that equipment, give it back.
FF Bowler 300. Hey man, I really appreciate you helping me out with all the. There's a couple people that signed when I went live last night to test the microphone out and make sure that all this equipment was working and stuff. it was echoing and all kinds of stuff, and a couple people got on and said, "What the hell is going on here?" Because I had the camera pointed just at like the wall upstairs in the just to do all this stuff, and FF helped me out quite a bit. So good benchmark type layout, rev rates 275, 300, speed 14 to 15. My two pin distances are 5 1/4 and 4 inches. So you've got kind of medium-ish speed, a kind of a lower-ish rev rate. So I'd say 4-inch pin. I like a 4-inch pin, and you know what? Try my angles. Go 65 by 4 by 40. Those are kind of media. If you go to the wiki, and Corbin, link didn't work for you. If you can just Google dual angle wiki. So, and that should pull it up, and that'll.
It's a Mo-Rich article, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Mo-Rich article. Or bowlingchat.net, I think, is what it says. So, just go ahead and Google dual angle wiki, and that should take you to it. But it's kind of a medium angle sum, so it's not a. It's a very kind of average medium type of layout. So it's not like it's
real versatile too for you. I mean, for most people, but especially you, because I can see you throw all these balls on a house pattern all the time, bowling in league. Mm-hmm. But I also see those same balls on sport patterns, and when we travel some of these Kansas City tournaments.
Yeah. And they look pretty good as long as I can throw them good. So
yeah, so really versatile layout.
404 error when I click the link. Interesting. You're probably just going to have to, like I said, Google the wiki if it's not working in the chat. Sometimes YouTube doesn't like putting hyperlinks in their stuff, so I don't know.
YouTube could be a bit touchy, it seems.
So yeah, now let me try it again. Dual angle wiki, and it does take you to a PDF too. So
you may have to look for your pop-ups, see if it'll let you pop it up.
Control copy. So yeah, it takes you to a PDF. So that may be why it's not working. Try it again, and if it doesn't work, you'll probably have to. Thoughts on the Radical Katana and the Cash? Well, the interesting thing about the Katana is that
it's basically a code black.
It's basically a code black. That's kind of the word on the street, is that they thought, well, we need a code black type reaction. So the Katana was actually kind of developed to be like a code black, the way that I understand it. If that's an industry secret or something, you didn't hear that from us, but.
Yeah, they were so notorious, like you said earlier, the Brunswick lines, they're just being real rolly, real early, real round off the spot. Mm-hmm. So, you've got ball selling like crazy because it snaps on the back end and still asymmetric. I mean, a lot of companies went after shapes like that.
And the Cash is just kind of your big hooking solid ball.
Yep,
as far as just as far as I know. So, least favorite ball you've ever thrown. We talked about this a few minutes. Like a half an hour ago now.
I guess it's been a little while.
Yeah, we've actually been on for a while. But least favorite ball, Ebonite Savage Flip. Hands down, don't even have to think about it. And
mine was my very first Columbia action.
And we sold a lot of those back when I was working for Eric Topham way back when. And the action looked good for a lot of people. So It was kind of...
It was just, when you think of that, I drilled a second one that was much better. But my very first one... Man, it made me hate that ball. It took me a long time to drill a second one.
What's Anthony think about the Verdict and the Mission Unknown? Mission Unknown was good.
The Mission Unknown is fantastic. A buddy of mine throws it a whole bunch. Matter of fact, he was just telling me how much he likes his.
Yeah.
Subbing for you this week.
Yeah.
Verdict is one of the only balls I can remember throwing that no matter where I played, I felt safe. Mm-hmm. It was going to hook, and it wasn't going to overhook. When I needed it to shim, it shimmed. When I needed it to read, it read. It's the Verdict Pearl.
Kind of one of them pocket finders.
It got me to the 1-3. It got me to the 1-3 a whole lot, and as long as I was close, I carried well. Verdict Pearls and the new one, much sharper off the spot. But you still kind of see the Verdict in there. Still real controllable, pretty strong in the mid lane.
Got some Props for the Matrix 2. Won me $600 today at a tournament. I'll take 600. I can't remember. Well,
Good job, Will.
yeah.
That Matrix is special.
$600. Solid idle, all-out show-off hustle link could be a good setup. There's a pretty big gap between the idle and the show-off. Oh, who's your favorite and also least favorite villain and why? Interesting.
Mine is Angel Rosedal.
Yeah. Oh, man. Solid idle. So you're probably looking, that's a really big jump. You probably need something Daredevil-ish in between there. Now, it depends. The idle's supposed to be really, really strong, but it is symmetrical, so it's not like it's going to be crazy, crazy on the back end. So I think if you polished it, that's kind of my thoughts. Is I'm looking at that ball thinking supercharged loco solid. That's just what it's saying to me. So we're gonna find out. It's obviously gonna get polished because I just can't anything that strong with surface on it.
Anything with surface.
Just not gonna happen. I just don't want to tear up. You get onto a house shot and you got so many people bowling on it. I'm not gonna tear it up any faster when we have to tear it up. So sprained your thumb. That sucks.
Ouch.
I had to throw some games two-handed shot above average. I think my first hybrid bowling ball on a house shot. I really like the all-out show-off.
Oh man,
and that's one thing as a staffer you go through. I said it before, but you go through so many bowling balls that a lot of the time you just don't get the time with something to develop a relationship with it before something else comes out. So if a ball actually does stick around in your bag for a while, that's the best compliment that you can get, and it goes with me everywhere. It's going to keep going with me everywhere. It's great. It's one of those for me like the Hectic that just I just love it. It's just
if you have a higher volume house pattern, that GB3, Fierce Phobia, or a couple of hybrids that'll be real good. But yeah, kind of the same thing. My Gauntlet Fury goes with me everywhere, and I've drilled a lot of new balls, and just one piece that stays with me. And if you could imagine looking at a bunch of houses or a bunch of apartments, you're about to move. They all kind of start running together, but there's always going to be one that stands out.
All right, so my wife got on here. Who's your favorite and also least favorite villain? Favorite villain, Heath Ledger's Joker. It's probably the easy answer, but it's so good. It's just so good.
Your boy in the new Pirates movie.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job.
Oh, Javier Bardem. I really like Javier Bardem, too. Really like Javier Bardem. At least favorite villain, Jared Leto's Joker.
Ouch. Yeah.
And Jared Leto's one of those guys. He's like Johnny Depp. Like, when Jared Leto does something, it's freaking awesome.
He's right in character the whole time.
And I think it's just, I don't really think it was him. I think it was just the character.
I can't remember the villain's name, but mine was the kid from Kick-Ass.
Oh, yeah.
He just pissed me off. That was not a good villain.
Oh, man.
The Red Bird, or whatever they call him, Red Robin.
Yeah. How do you keep your ball alive after 100 games? There's no hook anymore. What happens is the cover stock will soak up oil. Most of the stronger cover stocks are kind of designed to soak up oil anyway.
Yep.
And so if you can find somewhere with a detox, with a Jayhawk detox over in Germany, I'm not really sure what you can find. Maybe the best thing you can do is like one of those personal ball ovens that bleeds the oil out. It's nowhere near as good as a detox. But if you have a pro shop over there that has a detox, it's ultrasonic, so it's like
it's fantastic.
It's an ultrasonic cleaner just like they use for car parts and jewelry and stuff like that. So if you can find one of those, it actually extracts the oil out of the ball. It doesn't heat it up past the manufacturer. Depending on which manufacturer it is, the maximum temperature is 125 or 140 Fahrenheit. And so you don't want to go over that, because then that tends to make it can make the cover brittle. It can break down the chemicals in the cover stock. And the detox only takes about a half hour, 45 minutes, depending on how much oil's in it. So it's the safest, quickest, most efficient, just best method for pulling oil out of the ball, period. And yes, we do like Germany. I'm actually part German. I don't know how much German I am, despite this whole Irish thing that I've got going on. But my mother's maiden name was Higley, so I'm actually part German.
I can only hope that I'm part German.
Yep, detox to get, thanks FF, detox to get the oil right out. Balling down or going to something cleaner, do you have to make it be pearl, or anymore is every ball unique? Meaning some solids are snappy now, some pearls are smooth. Phase 2, yeah, some solid, and that's just the thing. Some pearls can be really smooth, And that's actually something really weird. The pearls used to be really, really snappy, and they kind of used to be inconsistent. But you're getting some pearls now that are a lot more. My Intense comes to mind. It's strong on the back end, but not necessarily flippy. It reminds me more of a hybrid or a polished solid. And then you have something like the Hustle Ink that almost looks like a pearl ball.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Verdict Pearl.
It's really
very,
smooth.
very smooth, very strong in the mid lane, not quite as snappy as some of the other pearls.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crazy if you really think about just 5 years ago.
Yeah. Even something cleaner, the Hustle Ink is just great. I still down at the Swiss Trios in Wichita when I drilled that second one. I didn't use it at all the first day. And I finally started using it the second day.
That's probably why we lost.
Man, yeah. Just didn't have a big enough lead after the first day.
Right. That's true.
No, it was so good. Just so good. Hairball's the high road, not a huge fan of solid. Do you think the high road nano would be yeah, if you're gonna take a venture into solids, the high road nano would probably be, because it's that high road shape, it's just a little bit more of pretty well everything. Once mine, I think I've got this thing on my podcast now where I do a 2-month report card, because it's one thing to look at a review and then some people say, okay, well, but what's it? That's all fine and good. What happens at the box? But what happens after a couple months of use? What happens? Has it transition?
When the ball turns into its real self.
Yeah, because it takes several games for the ball to kind of develop a track, and you get some oil in the cover, it gets some lane shine to see what it actually does. And mine's snappier now. I probably should use it more. It was really smooth, and so the thing was, it looked great in practice, and then it would just be flat 10, flat 10, flat 10. But as soon as it got some lane shine on it, it's got some punch now. It's like a stronger high road. So I think that if you're looking to going into some solids, high road nano, especially if you like the high road, would probably be the best place to start. I think you've got an idea there.
Hey, Mike Day, can you add an IT thumb on a drilled ball without changing the span?
Yep.
And you can. Absolutely. A lot of people like to convert to interchangeable thumbs. We do it all the time.
Yeah, it's a bigger hole. So.
Yep. So we can, in most cases. I mean, if we're without changing anything, for sure. But yeah, you can do that.
Yep. Okay. Whoa.
I saw your wife again. Make sure we.
Oh man, this all. Hey y'all, hi
Hey,
Angel,
y'all.
hi. Oh man, she got some fans in the. We're so far behind.
We are so sorry if we didn't get to your question.
Yeah, no, we've gotten to your question. It's just been like 20 minutes after you posted it, so that's great. All right, thoughts on the Rico drilling? I actually know Rico.
Oh man,
calling Rick Hamlin.
Nope, I've always been a fan of Rico. I don't Rico a lot of bowling balls. But every bowling ball that I can remember actually putting the Rico layout on rolled really, really good for me. Getting a little older, getting a little slower, so I don't necessarily need anything to read any sooner than I've already got. But I do like Rico.
Bowling in Syracuse, July
1-2.
1 and 2, so it's a Sunday, Monday?
Sunday, Monday.
It's pretty close to the end of the tournament.
July 7th is the last noted day of the tournament.
Yeah. We'll get to see Storm
Chad
Products.
McLean.
Yeah. They're a Storm Product resident professional nature photographer.
Yeah, I take some pretty pictures.
Yeah. Grit effect of bowling balls. How much does grit... surface is the biggest... Surface cover stock's the biggest deal. I actually just put out a video today on some bowling misconceptions with layout and surface, and I kind of explain it, so you probably want to go check that out. That was pretty interesting. How different is 1500 grit from 5500 grit? That's crazy.
Different.
15, well, and there's
Even
a difference.
visibly.
15, so 5500 is kind of shooting at the Motive laser scan sanded thing.
Right.
1500 grit. 1500 grit polish that Storm uses, that's kind of their factory polish, is 1500 polish, which I assume is they go... there's a certain way that they get to the 1500 and then they polish on top of that. If it's just 1500 sanded going to 5500 sanded, 5500 is like polished.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really shiny, especially if you wet sand it.
Crazy different. If you just take a 2000 Abralon pad, if you take a Motive ball that's at 5500 laser scan sanded, whatever they do, and then you take that to 2000, crazy difference. Crazy difference.
Night and day. That, like he said, it is the biggest thing that you can change to change your ball motion.
How's the Sonic compare to the Daredevil Danger? Interestingly enough, they shape fairly similarly. But the Sonic's a lot quicker off. It rolls a lot heavier, and it's quicker off the spot than the Danger is. But the shape is actually, it's kind of got that just really clean motion to it. It just goes down, and then it turns. There's not a whole lot of, despite how heavy it rolls, you'd think it'd be a little bit smoother. But no, the Sonic, it's not necessarily a hockey stick, but it's just going one direction, and then it goes the other direction. And so they shape fairly similar, but the Sonic is really crazy. Timeless versus Drive. The Drive is an earlier, smoother Timeless, which the problems that people had with the Timeless was it going too long and being kind of jerky off the spot. The Drive smooths all that out. Everybody's saying hi, Angel.
She makes the Sonic look really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, mine look pretty good too, but
Angel definitely adds a special piece that you can.
I could go some places right now here,
We're not going to.
Man.
We're not going to. Ring the bell.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold it.
Yeah, the Sonic, she makes a lot of stuff look really good. The Marvel Pearl.
For her.
That's probably the sweetest. It's one of the sweetest looking ball reactions I've ever seen is my wife throwing the Marvel Pearl. And I was talking about on her live stream the other night, the extremely poor quality live stream. Video quality, the commentary was obviously awesome. But what I was typing in the chat anyway. But she's got a second gen phase, or a second batch phase. What happened initially is the kind of pastel colored one, the first batches were really, really smooth. And after the first batches, they got into the second batches, and they were a lot darker colors.
Yeah,
a lot more vibrant, or not necessarily vibrant. They just weren't that pastel thing. They were a lot more pearl-looking colors.
They actually looked like it was made in 4K.
Yeah, that ball was more like a Sonic type reaction than the original phase was. The first batch phases and the second batch phases were completely different. Her second batch is just really, really awesome. So. Yes, because you're going to be on the next episode on the kid that choked worse than the Falcons at Super Bowl 51. Sweet.
Oh, wow.
Damn, that's harsh.
Man, he's taking it back.
Damn. What are you shooting your league last night? Angel shot 580 something. The last game didn't go so great. 588, but her average is 195-ish, so that's kind of right on par for her. I feel like I'm missing something in my arsenal. Code Red, Pitch Black, High Road Matchup, Pearl, and a Plastic. You got a really big hole right at that matchup Pearl position right there. So, wow. Do you need a solid? Hustle Inc. Hustle Inc. is the answer to everything.
Except what's your favorite EBI ball?
Yeah, she did have that hangnail that she was dealing with the whole night. So yeah, she went 214, 202, and then that hangnail just got to her. So, what's it take to be a staffer? We actually have a beer frame about that, so you want to go back and check that out definitely, because we could sit here and talk for a half an hour about it, and we got a lot of questions to answer. But we had I think was that the 2-part one that we did?
No, because we did a pro shop.
That was the pro shop. That was a 2-part. Yeah. But we do have a beer frame on being a staffer, so if you go into my video list and you scroll back, you'll see a whole video dedicated to talking to all about stuff about that. So that's probably the best thing that you can go to, is just go watch our past beer frame from that.
I think the simple answer to that is, and that's the one I heard, and you'll hear my phrase in that video, is double to win the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Double in the 10th to win the U.S. Open.
You'll get your staff contract.
And you will be on staff. For sure.
Thank you, Ann. We definitely appreciate it. Confirm that YouTube does not like hyperlinks and super chats. Yeah, just YouTube and hyperlinks just doesn't
Super
happen.
chat is impressive to me. He was explaining this to me before we started. I'm no YouTube junkie.
Yeah. URL works if you take everything off after PDF, is what Crystal Pepsi says, so probably try that. If that works, then just go ahead and do that. 9-pin no tap with the show off 300 the last game for an extra 350. Yeah, the show off just hooked way too much for me. It just hooked too much. Yeah, it wasn't a terrible ball, but just hooked way too much.
Have a good day, Mike. He's leaving. He wanted to say bye.
Time to rescue a grandchild. Yeah. Yeah, when you come back and watch this afterwards, you'll see this like 20 minutes after you posted the comment. I can't see what the time is that. I actually have a 9-pin no tap 900.
I do also.
They were the last 6 frames. The guy was on the intercom yelling at me, and people were throwing stuff at me, and it was fun. Because it's just the unique thing about a 9-pin no tap tournament is some people still try to get a strike every time, and it screws them up. Hit the pocket and get 9. Just hit the pocket and get 9. That's all that matters.
Just hit one.
It's a 9-pin no tap tournament. Hit the head pin somewhere.
Yep.
Preferably not like right straight on. 15 pounds versus 16 pounds. There's I think 98% is the number that we have of pros that throw 15s versus 16s. EJ Tackett throws 16s, even though the little squirrel is...
That's 10% of his body weight.
Yeah. That's more than 10% of his body weight.
It's like 20% of his body weight.
Oh, man. But it's whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel more comfortable with 15s, throw 15s. If you feel more comfortable with 16s, there's even some people that score really well throwing 14s. I think once you get under 14, though, that's when it really starts going south on the reaction, the carry, and
even with the power of these balls today, the more scientific answer, most 16-pound balls have a little bit lower differential. It's not always the case, but in most cases, if you're looking at the numbers and you're a numbers nerd, your 16-pound ball is going to have a touch lower on the diff.
Finally made it. Hello all. Hello Mike Brobst. I think that's... I'm pretty good with names, so I probably just butchered that now that I said something, but...
I'm not sure how else you could say it.
Brobst. Yeah. Finally made it. 20 minutes later, we're finally getting to this. Messages held for review. Well, I'll go on ahead and say it. That's a big-ass bottle. Yes, this is what they refer to as a growler at 64 ounces. So that's when you go to a craft brewery most of the time, and you can go on ahead and take some home for you. It's pretty well the perfect size because obviously it's gonna get flat as the days go on. But 64 ounces isn't a crazy amount
unless you're drinking it by yourself.
My God, if you're drinking, well, if you have a stout or something like that, like their coffee porter. It gets a little stiff then. It said, "All out show off my go-to ball." Wish he read this chat. I know who you're talking about. But...
Angel's helping us out.
Oh yeah,
thank you, Angel.
Yeah. Thanks for. Oh man, Hectic no longer available. What balls in the Storm or Roto lineup fill the hole? I don't have any clue. I don't have any clue. That's the thing. Like if I don't have my Hectic, I'm not entirely sure because it's a really, really smooth, slow reaction. Hustle Pow might be the closest thing that I could even think of because nothing else shapes like that. The Hustle Pow didn't even really shape like that, but just nothing else shapes like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, it's
don't
just
know there.
Ball down from the Alpha Crux.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much. phase 2 would probably be because it kind of shapes like the Alpha, but it's symmetric instead of asymmetric, and you're probably stepping down a few. You're probably stepping down a few boards. It may not be a big enough step for you, but you might go down to something like Rocket Ship. Rocket Ship might be that's like an arrow step down, but it might be that. Show me your all-out show off, because well, here's the thing on the layouts thing. 65 by I don't actually have the 65 by 4 by 40 on my all-out show off. I've got it on my trick, but the thing with layouts is it really just depends on where your axis point is at, because I think I also have a video, if you can scroll back and look at some stuff. I've got a video that shows that depending on your axis point, some people, like his 65 by 4 by 40
completely
is in a different spot because his track's a lot lower than I am, than mine is. He's got...
What's your PAP?
5.5 over and 3/4 up, and yours is what?
4 3/4.
4 3/4.
7/8 up.
So it's going to put the fingers in different locations. Really, what it does is you put a layout on a ball, to find where you want your axis point, and then you trace back to where that puts your fingers. So a layout puts your fingers in a certain point. It's not where your fingers go, it's where that layout puts your fingers. And depending on your axis point, the same layout could put your fingers in different places than it could put somebody else's fingers. So it's not kind of a one size fits all.
Well, earlier we had that question about pin to pat. Well, that's the biggest thing that it's going to change between like him and I. So if I grab your 5-inch pin, I mean, we're talking a 4.5-inch pin, maybe even a 4-inch pin, depending on your valve angle and of what mine's going to be. So completely different. So just because the pin's above the bridge and it's a 5-inch pin for Luke, a pin above the bridge could very easily be a 3-inch pin for those who have a much lower track. So, and then your reaction's going to be different. Not a world different, but it's going to be different enough to notice.
Sea Hope have an unhinged drilled 45 by 3 3/8 by 35. That's a pretty aggressive layout. That's a pretty strong layout. So if you're a lower speed tweener, 5-inch pin high road pearl, pretty good. So something with a lower diff, yeah. The High Road Pearl's core has a high enough RG that I think you're looking at kind of something similar to the unhinged, but a definite step down. So I think that you've got the right idea there.
Do you want me to hand you one, boss?
Huh?
Do you want me to hand you one?
No, we're good. George Mathis, with so many releases coming out from Storm and ABI, how do you keep up? I don't even know. That's the thing. The good thing about being on staff is that it's fun because you get to throw pretty well everything, and
Right.
You get it. Getting it early is not. It's fun at first, but then it's like 2-3 weeks. So it's cool, but it's not like a crazy deal. But that's the thing is having older stuff like the Hectic that I really like to throw, but there's all this new stuff that I really do want to throw. It's not so much that they want us to throw it, they want us to kind of promote it and advertise it, but they also don't want us using new stuff and sucking with it. Like that's that's not going to help anybody.
Right.
So if we got to use a Hectic, then we just got to use a Hectic or a Vibe or something. I know they got some new Vibes and stuff, but
yeah, there's and it's with EBI and the 4 companies, they really push out a lot of bowling balls, and every single one is completely different, and there's just no way to drill them all and throw them all and be able to give you extremely accurate information. But what it does do is we get a slight chance and a small window to see what it does compared to other bowling balls. So in most cases, it's pretty vibrant right from the get-go. You know if it's stronger than a Phobia. You know if it's stronger than a Hustle Inc. But you also know if it's longer, if it's cleaner, if it's earlier. So when that customer comes in and asks you which ball compared to what they have is the next step for them, that helps quite a bit.
What do you do with all your older equipment? Well, number one, it either cracks sitting on a rack, which, like we said, if you just leave it sitting somewhere, it's gonna crack. That's just period. It's gonna crack. Yep. So it either cracks sitting there, or we donate a lot of them to youth programs. That's what they prefer us to do, is just donate them to local youth programs, because as anybody that has kids know, kids are expensive, and the cheaper you can get something, the better. And so if you can get something for your kind of teenage kid that's moving into 15-pound balls or something like that, especially the kids in high school,
this time of year,
because it can get really. I mean, bowling's an expensive sport, honestly, and that just really helps them out. Plus a little bit of hashtag marketing. Yeah,
it does. It gets the balls out to other people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
But donating them is almost always the case.
Yep.
It's easier for somebody to afford plug work than brand new balls, and they're still getting a really great ball because we really don't get a chance to put a ton of games on them.
Douglas, workable arsenal of High Road, Unhinged, Sinister, Haywire, Daredevil, Asylum. There's some old ones in there. I did like the Sinister. Yeah, you've got a lot of kind of similar. Aside from the Asylum, those are a lot of HP3-ish Thunderline type reactions.
A little HP4.
So you probably could, but I do like the shape differences. High Road, the Unhinged is the Roto Grip High Road. That's pretty well what that amounts to. Sinister is a bigger hooking hybrid. Haywire is a lot of hook. The original Daredevil is it's kind of in the middle there. Asylum drop down. You might. Yeah, I mean that's a workable arsenal. I would say you could probably go something a little bit weaker, Hustle Inc., maybe something a little bit stronger, Sherlock, something like that. But
a little stronger.
Yeah, but again, if you bowl on a high road, if you bowl on a house shot a lot, you don't need the low end stuff. Doesn't come out a lot. The high end stuff doesn't come out a lot, and so most of the stuff that I carry is kind of that HP3 Thunderline stuff anyway. So. Yeah, Sonic hits the dry and makes the corner so smooth, heavy but smooth. Yeah, it's really interesting where it's not. Oh boy, lost one. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's really weird because it's sharp but it's not. It rolls heavy but it gets down the lane okay. But it's really different. And that's one of the things I hate to use terms like that. It's a completely different reaction than we've ever seen before. It kind of is for Storm though. It kind of is for Storm, so it's kind of a new look, and that's pretty awesome. So, Falcons fan, Bulldogs fan. He's a Packers fan, so, but I'm a Chiefs fan, so the whole Saddle-Lot thing.
And I'm becoming more lactose intolerant, so
yeah.
It doesn't make much sense.
I think of the Defiant Soul. I never had a Defiant Soul. I actually have to go back and look at it. There's a lot of people that liked it though. So, High Road Nano. Do I need more lane shine, or should I just touch it down? You probably could put a little polish on it. I kind of like lane shine with solids better.
Oh yeah,
lane shine? I would rather just let it lane shine than actually polish it. For some reason it just works better.
I'm not a polish guy. I don't like polish. I would much rather hit it with a 4000 pad.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Kyle Moore.
Oh, okay. Big difference, 15, 16. Yeah, there's a really big difference in the number. That's just the thing with that core. So you know, guys, how it's actually sent at 9:59 Eastern, which is 8:59. So yeah, we're about 10 minutes behind now.
We're about 10 minutes. We're catching up.
Yeah, and actually on my stream thing, yeah, we're about 14 minutes. I don't know. I got my encoder going and whatever else, but yeah. This is the thing. What we're probably going to have to do from now on is we want to try to answer all these questions, but what you drinking? Yeah. Oh man, my daughter's on there.
Yeah, I seen her.
Chrissy. Aw.
There's an inside joke to that. Do we want to tell them?
We can talk about the Hello Kitty thing here in a minute. Try to catch up with these questions though. High Road Nano, big difference. Yeah, probably what's going to happen on because we're going to do this again. Obviously, this is great. This is a lot of fun. So probably we're going to try to answer the questions faster, or we might just have to skip some. Don't want to do that. That's not, again, what I was saying on my podcast the other day. That's not what this channel was built around. I don't want to be the guy that just doesn't answer people and skip stuff, and that's not what the deal is. So
we want you guys to watch it.
Yeah, and if we ignore your questions, then why the hell would you want to watch? So. Josh Shoemaker, what's up, bud? Opinions on the Code X, better IQTS? Theoretically, yeah. I mean, it's an asymmetric IQ Tour Solid. I'm imagining not quite that really round shape. I'm imagining it's going to have a little bit more angle. But again, Alpha Crux type stuff. So it should be really good. The high SP video for it, granted they're on wood lanes, but they're like getting it back from the 3 board and stuff.
Those
really
guys
love
make me want to bowl so bad.
Akio Ishihara. I love that guy.
Oh, man.
Love that guy. HPL favorites. I love HPLs.
I was always a Pro Anvilane fan.
Yeah. I like Pro Lane 2. I don't really like Pro Lane 1. I like Pro Lane 2. HPLs though, man, they used to have there's a house called Meadow Lanes here in town. They had HPLs and they were just so sweet. I don't know what the difference is, but I love HPLs. Or the pitfalls, what adjustments do you favor? Synthetics harder than wood. So most of the time you see a smoother reaction on synthetic lanes than you will on wood, because wood's a lot softer, and so there's a lot more friction between the ball and the lane, and so that's when you generally see a lot of those really sharp reactions. The thing on wood, though, is when it started carrying down, you would go from strike to like 2-8-10
Automatically.
Yeah, it was just
one shot.
It was just right out of the blue. So that's one of the things with, because you have to, most of the time you had to play deeper on wood lanes because it was so sharp. But when the carry down showed up, it was really, really impactful. Like
It'd hook at your feet and then stop at 30 feet. And you kind of had to deal with whatever you threw by 35 feet.
And that's kind of the thing, is why bowling balls are getting stronger. That's part of the thing, is that they don't shape up as strong on synthetic as they did on wood. And so with synthetic lanes pretty well everywhere now, that's kind of a big deal. So what you drinking? We are drinking, I'm drinking the Vienna Lager from Norseman Brewing Company. My brother Adam Rosedal and his wife Melissa Rosedal, their friends Jared Rudy and Emily Rudy, own Norseman Brewing Company here in Topeka, Kansas, 830 North Kansas. If you're local, go check them out. He's got the Odin's 1 IPA, really hoppy stuff, but really it's not like bitter like a lot.
No, it's
like
it's a real smooth kind of hop. You get the initial hop kick, kind of like a Sprite. It kicks you in the mouth at first, but it's
then
fantastic.
it finishes real nice.
It's fantastic.
And the lager's kind of a more flavorful. It's got that real kind of roasted taste to me. It's but it's a lighter beer with a lot more flavor. So
we have a bell, don't we?
Yep, we do that. Well,
Should we ring it?
Well, it's gonna be like we're like 10. I don't know how far behind the how.
If you
far
ring it louder, she'll hear it through the vent.
I don't know how far behind. I know that we're lagging way behind on the questions. I don't know how far the video's lagging behind, but all right. Let's see. Proud dad moment. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Steelers fan. Sorry for your loss.
Sorry. It was a catch.
Yeah.
It was. But not.
Okay, just curious to see what it looks like for you. I suppose I can go get it. All right, as soon as Angel comes down, I'll have her grab one.
She offered to get it a little bit ago. We'll have her
Keep
grab
up the great videos. Yep, I will keep up the videos. Put a costume, custom leather heel on my shoe to help me slide. Can't slide. Need new shoes. Any ideas? I really like the 9s. What do you have?
The 8s.
The 8s. I really like the 9s because they have, the big problem with the 8s is if you drag your toe at all, that pad just kind of comes off.
That traction pad does lose its grip.
The Dexter Power Step is really, really great if you have 8s, but the 9s kind of fix that problem. That toe cap is so freaking hard. Like, I drag my toe crazy, so I need one of those Power Steps. But with the 9s, it fixes everything. Plus, they have channels in the bottom of the slide pad.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
And I'm going to need you to get my Daredevil trick. It's on the rack, I'm pretty sure.
But now they're asking.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, because I was reading.
I literally just took a shower in between me typing and sending my message and you reading it. Sorry for the delay. We're going to try to get to these faster, hopefully, but...
Panda. Oh, we got Panda and Missile coming.
We got a panda.
Oh, snap.
We got a heckin' panda. What's up, Panda Bear?
Hey.
Big dog, big husky. All right, donated a rocket ship, pitch black global boost. That's really cool.
Huh?
How supposed to force to throw a pitch black? Pitch black's not a bad way to go, but it is urethane. So, Steelers fan.
Everywhere.
I bet you're really happy that James Harrison didn't win that their Super Bowl here a week or so ago. So, poetic justice, I suppose. I just realized that bowling's expensive. You started bowling
too far behind on the
9 months ago, and you already have.
And it lags as far as you guys doing it to up there. It's
Yeah.
about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
It's not terrible.
There's a pole there.
Already have 4 balls. Yeah, it's one of those things you get started.
Booty jokes.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed.
Yeah. Well, you just said it now. I mean, this is a really good microphone.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Like it's really easy hard.
Yeah.
You put it out there.
Hashtag backend.
I haven't seen an ass like that since 50.
Yeah, it's one of Jim. It's one of them things that just gets you. It just gets you. Pain relief, recommend for pain relief with nerves.
Yep.
Just take like an aspirin or something before you bowl, like 30 minutes before you bowl. Just take an aspirin. Daredevil trick. It's
Kinesiology Tape is a really new
Guardian.
I say really new. It's kind of coming its way around through the bowling world now. A lot of companies are making it. That stuff is really, really good for fatigue.
Yeah,
really good for blood flow. So if you're having some trouble, nerves, obviously we're no doctor, but that's really done fantastic job for a lot of bowlers. A lot of athletes, period.
Yep. Proud dad moment. My daughter actually just turned 22.
It was in your bag, not the rack.
Yeah.
I thought you were the wrong one.
Well, it was in one of my... Okay. So I don't know when you're going to actually see this, but this is what 65 by 4 by 40 looks like for me. Hope you can see that, but that's what it looks like. Got a pretty high track. No, they can see it.
They can see it.
No, it'll be just fine. All right, yeah, bowling's one of them things you just... Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bowling's one of them things. When it hooks you, and that's just... Yeah, there we go. Heckin' sweet. That's what it looks like. Can't hardly... The thumb hole's down by my pinky, by the way. One greatest tip you ever got to improve your release. Be really soft with your thumb.
Stop squeezing.
Yep, stop squeezing. All fingers, no thumb.
My panda.
Watch a lot of Mike Fagan. Mike Fagan is great. Uh-oh, there's a panda. Big panda. Mm-hmm. You're funny, aren't you? Oh, boy. All the same drilling. Change balls depending on whether I need... Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I just put the same layout on everything because that just keeps me consistent on the layout, and that way it helps me actually be able to... Oh, there's a missile.
There's missile.
She hates being held, but she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at here.
Come on.
Yeah, I kind of it helps you tell the differences, especially in my reviews. It helps me just use the same layout every time. Plus, I just like that layout. But it helped me really identify the differences in ball reactions pretty easy. So, yeah, there's a missile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds behind. So yeah, I like the ball being the difference. I don't like having a different ball and different layouts and all kinds of crap like that. So, symmetrical solid. Where the no rules exist stood up. Oh dang it. Scrolled all the way to the bottom again. Oh, we're not too far behind though. Stood up by me, just leave corners. No rules exist is a really strong ball. It's a really strong ball. You got to have a lot of oil. Symmetric solid. Something like Phase 2, rocket ship. What do you guys got? Are the Game Breakers?
The Game Breaker 2s.
They're symmetric.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Game Breaker 2 is a really good option there.
Mm-hmm. Mike Brobst. Again, Brobst. Pretty sure.
Hoping.
Let me know. Yeah. Lock, Code Red, Timeless, Shout. Probably not. Most tournaments, it depends on your tournaments. If they're house shot tournaments, you're going to be fine with what you use in league. If they're sport tournaments, you're going to want more solid, more like smooth solids. Daredevil Trick, Game Breaker,
yep.
Game Breaker 2, Game Breaker 3, stuff like that.
You don't want anything that just absolutely flies on the back end. You want to be able to control how the ball goes through the pins.
Yeah, most of the time stuff that's good on a house shot is not really great on a sport shot. Sometimes it works out okay like that, but most of the time that's not the... And Valena got to throw your weakest stuff. Sweet.
Well, it depends on what they do with the oil pattern.
New balls do actually carry down. It's more of a function of flare than absorbing because when you throw the ball, it'll come back with the oil still on it. But balls that flare don't tend to carry the oil down because when they hit the back end, all they're really hitting is the two bow ties. You'll have a bow tie on top, bow tie on the bottom. So that's really the only thing they're hitting. But if you've got a ball that doesn't flare a lot, meaning that the
oil rings are much closer together. The oil rings
are really close together. Or if you have like urethane balls that didn't typically have a very high differential, it's rolling over the same oil track. Mm-hmm. Well, as soon as it hits the back end, it's going to be rolling, or it's just going to be just dumping that oil all over the back end. So generally balls that flare, the more the ball flares, the less carry
down.
down you're going to get out of it, but the more track burn you're going to get out of it.
Especially in the front part of the lane, the middle part of the lane, you're going to see some pretty serious transition for sure.
Yeah, brand new, yeah. You only have one ball to take with you. That's a really good question. I like that. I like that question, George. One ball to take with you. What is it? It's got to be the Hectic for me.
Mine's a Fury for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fury.
I can hit it with surface and bowl on anything you can come up with. I can get it back down to 4,000 and get it down the lane for sure.
Yep. Me throwing it harder is not as easy as me just slowing down and hammering on it. So Hectic is. I bet I'll say the Hustle Inc. Hustle Inc. It's actually not a. I mean, that's actually not.
One ball.
Yep. Yep. Hustle Inc. is that's so close to such a close second that yeah, you're right on that. Pretty bird.
Pretty bird.
Yeah.
Don't get him started.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22, and what does that mean?
Right.
Thanks, Angel. Okay, IQ Tour Solid, Daredevil, DDT, Wreckham, Stronger and Weaker Ball. Man. Sherlock, Hustle Inc. Sherlock is probably the most fun I've had throwing a ball in a long time, but it hooks off the planet. I can't throw it. I just can't throw it. If you go watch my video, my video is just absolute stupidity. I'm lofting the ball, getting it out to the 5 board, and it's just ripping back. I just can't throw it. I just can't throw it. It's a great ball. It's a great ball for the high school girl that has it now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I loved it, but man, I just can't throw it.
That high school girl can also sing. I found out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sang the national anthem at a meet. Fantastic.
I'm sure. Bowler's tendonitis. How does one avoid it? It's generally a product of muscling the ball or bowling too much, or a combination
it's like any
of
other
both.
kind of tendonitis, any kind of carpal tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
The more use you get,
Tennis elbow.
Yeah, the more use you get, the more you use those ligaments, tendons, the more you lose muscles. That's going to get to that level if you overuse it. Make sure you rest if you start to feel pain. Don't be afraid to take a week off of bowling. Those kind of things will help with if you start to see the symptoms. Once you have tendonitis or any of them, you're really not going to be able to do a whole lot. Just take it easy.
Yeah, just got to give it a break.
Let them rest.
Remember how many 700 series you shot in a row in league? I think like 7 or 8. I went a solid month where I think I didn't shoot anything under 700 in either of my leagues. I think mine's 8.
Mine would be at least 6.
Mm-hmm.
I had a span of time where I shot a lot of 300s and 800s in a very small window. So probably 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got married.
George.
I stopped shooting 700s when I got married.
This is the funny thing. So what is Angel drinking? That's just vintage trademark Angel. She actually doesn't drink a whole lot.
Very little. And we've tried.
That's just Angel.
Love you.
24-hour bowling in the morning? I don't even know what that means, but that's interesting.
There are some centers open 24 hours across the country. I'm not sure I'd ever want to bowl at 4 in the morning.
Holy crap. 4 people throwing house balls, spraying all over the lane. 1 person playing 1 arrow, hooking it. I'm a 2-hander, play everywhere on the lane. Straighter is greater. Urethane, as straight and as hard as you can keep it.
Absolutely.
Just take the lane out of play. That's really all you can do, and it may not be the perfect solution, but sometimes damage control, 9 spare is a hell of a lot better than 6-3. So
oh yeah.
I mean, or 4-1,
4-1, 0 spare 0.
Nailed the last name, Mike Brobst. Sweet. I thought so. I got Isaac Olson too. AIZEC. Isaac. Nailed it.
Yeah, I've been looking at that and it's not Isaac.
Yeah. See a big difference in pin up and pin down layouts on the same ballers at minuscule? Not really. Pin up and pin down does make pin up tends to go down the lane further and is a little bit sharper. And the way I understand it, pin down, people always used to say, well, it's stronger and earlier. It's really just earlier.
Just earlier, not stronger.
It's just earlier. It's not stronger because it is kind of a weaker pin position. So it's just smoother. It generally tends to be just smoother.
Your valve angle makes a big difference on that. You're raising and lowering the RG. It gets pretty scientific, but it is a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ann. We really appreciate it. Favorite overseas ball? Holy crap. Man, I really like the look of the Timeless SE, that pink and the blue and the whatever else. But man, I've been on Chad so much. He takes all the good stuff and sends it overseas. The IQ Tour Rising is like the coolest thing that I've ever seen. Go on to Storm's website and go to balls, then go to classic and type in IQ Tour Rising. That ball is just sickness. Just absolute sickness.
I like watching the DHC Cup. If you go on Extra Frame, look at some of that. The DHC Cup in Japan, some of those overseas tournaments. You get a chance to see a lot of them. You're not going to see the logos in a lot of those. They just go so fast. But you get a chance to see a lot of those overseas balls.
Mom doesn't really drink. Yeah. Yep.
Hi, Christina.
Really weird when your daughter can drink.
I'll never know.
Yes. But tis. He doesn't have a daughter. That's the joke. Get it? Oh man. Original lock and a snap lock. Now the thing I'm missing is the Sherlock. Sherlock's freaking awesome. Again, it's heckin' awesome. So
that's a whole lot of bowling ball.
Third week off. Should I go back to my lighter balls? May not be a bad idea. If you're coming back from tendonitis, don't go like full back into it. If you use just kind of walk back into it. If you do have lighter balls, that's probably a pretty good idea. OG virtual gravity came out 10 years. Damn, 10 years ago. How strong is it compared to balls?
10 years ago?
Yeah, they're still using the nano cover, so I don't think that there's a really big difference in strength so much anymore. It's not going to be like your Sherlock. But it's still, if they re-release the virtual gravity, it would still be in play.
Man,
it would
10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. That's crazy. Hook potentials haven't changed a crazy amount.
No, they really haven't.
Shapes, I think they play a lot more with shapes now, which is just as good. I'm more of a shape guy than a hook guy anyway, so. The hook potentials that they have right now until they start going to like some really crazy oil, but I don't really anticipate anything changing too much as far as oil thickness, oil volumes, surfaces.
No, they're trying and they're getting pretty creative.
Yeah.
But we've had this conversation recently, and I'd like to ask if anybody's listening. We may not get to it right away, but a conversation we've had with the head mechanic at the center we bowl at quite often. Do you think the bowling balls now, and this will be for you, do you think the bowling balls now have beat the oil pattern? By that I mean, have the balls become so strong that they're ahead of the oil, where once upon a time it was the oil and the patterns were so heavy we didn't have a ball to keep up? And is that why are we seeing like the 5.710? It's become kind of a nationwide thing where it's more common. Do you think it's because they've burned so much energy by 45 feet?
I think it's it's oil cost. That's what I really think it is, because Kegel's ice oil is awesome, but it's quite a bit more expensive than anything else out there. And obviously with bowling centers, expensive oil, high volumes of it.
And you got to use it so much.
Yeah, more oil's more expensive, and we got a lot of leagues around here, especially at Westridge. They've got to oil at least once a day. And so you're talking a lot of money going into oil and lanes, and so if you can
there's so little oil that actually gets applied per lane.
Yeah.
But the cost is really, really high, and a lot of bowling centers have closed.
Yeah.
And it's a protectant. It's not a, it's not something to play with. It's actually a protectant.
It protects the lane. That's what the purpose of oil is, and there's just really not a whole lot of reason to dump, because you can buy less aggressive balls. You don't have to go buy a Sherlock. You can buy a Vibe. You can buy a Hustle Ink, which would allow the centers to run drier patterns
all the time,
which would save money on oil and kind of all the above. So, but that's kind of generally the thing. Yeah, I think that if people were to use 30 mils of ice, it'd be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, balls we'd be having Sherlocks as HP3s.
Yeah,
you know, it'd be.
But ice and fire are the two most expensive oils out there, as far as I know. So. Most hated storm ball matchup, Pearl. Quick answers. Anthony's the bomb too. What up, Anthony? P.S. I knew Dad was going to say something about that comment. Crazy with that
Thanks,
alcohol.
Christina.
Man, we got to scroll back up. Okay. Individual counties today with a storm drive. Yep, it is quite a bit better than the Timeless. Now, the Timeless has its moments, but I think the drive is more usable on more conditions. But that nano cover, it great cover. So, guy in our sports shot league went gutter. Sports shot leagues are understandable. When you're on a house shot and the ball turns sideways on the 5 board and you can still get it in the gutter. What was it? 3-4 times in the same game. Joshua Cowan calling you out. gutter spare 5 frames in a row.
He went gutter
Man,
spare in the last half of the game. And then gutter spare in the 10th.
I prefer the driver of the Timeless. It's Timeless has its moments where it's really good, but the drive is more user friendly. Really, Supergate, the Supergate's pretty good. They've got a lot of stuff. That's why I like watching the High SP. If you look in YouTube, go Team High SP, or just go Codex Video. They've always got all the videos up early. Just subscribe to the channel. They've got all they do all the stateside releases, and they do all the overseas releases too. It's really fun. I really like watching those guys.
And those guys throw the ball amazing.
Dang, Sean Robbins. Yeah, he said he broke 600. First 600, 619. Sweet.
Good job.
Yeah, shows in the 90s when balls were crazy smooth and crazy continuous. Not so much anymore. The crazy smooth and continuous. Yeah, I remember like the Bob Learn stuff when he shot his. Yeah. Those balls were awesome. Original Pulse. # Ron Barr.
Original Pulse. Like fire.
I really did like that. Like everything was a Loco Pearl. Or Loco Solid. Everything was a Loco Solid. Everything
low
was
flaring.
Yeah, it was
hooking
great.
Off the gutter.
Love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you're not the only one who's left. No. I actually gave the only time I've ever like given a ball away on the spot. Raging Inferno. Lily, strike, Lily, gone. Well, yeah, it rolled sweet, but
I love the Raging.
Man, I think they beat the oil. Yep. Thanks, Josh. Marvel P and matchup solid. Start playing in league suggestions. So you've got the Marvel Pearl matchup solid. High speed, I don't know, rev rate, but good hook with both. Hustle Inc. It's the answer to everything. Ball is terrible. I honestly feel bad for people who bought it.
CO5 music.
True story.
Is that what that
Wish
is?
reactive resin been never allowed. Two-handed bowling not been allowed. That's a lot bigger question. Actually, our next beer frame regular episode is going to be about two-handed bowling. And I think it's one of those things that you're kind of a big fan. Like everybody likes the music that's in their kind of era. Everybody likes things to kind of stay the same. And so when things change a whole lot, it's kind of a nostalgia thing. Like it just doesn't feel the same as it used to. Right. I know. It just watching Star Wars. I went to The Last Jedi, and I was just sitting there. I was bummed as hell the whole time because it wasn't my Star Wars. It wasn't the Star Wars I grew up with. I was kind of in between. I was born in 81, so the ones that I really grew up with were the original Star Wars. That's Star Wars to me. The prequels are not Star Wars, even though the last one was kind of okay, and then the whole Darth Maul thing and Phantom Menace was pretty good. Force Awakens was pretty good. I like that one. Last Jedi just absolutely murdered me. Hated it.
Hey, I bought him
hated it.
His Christmas present was
yeah,
a gift certificate to the movie theater to watch that movie. So.
Man.
Where's that one question that we were just looking at? The one that you were talking about.
The Pete Weber 200 bowling.
It's just a different. It's
different.
It's perception. Just like you said, it's different. I'm jealous. You'll see on our videos soon. It's tough. And, you know, you don't see a lot of people really changing the game in other sports with different techniques.
Yeah.
So it's a culture shock kind of thing. But just a quick answer, 100% for it. 100%. I don't think we can stop it. I think it's fantastic. It kind of diversifies us as coaches.
It pushes, it at least pushes the game to answer questions that they may not have had to answer in the first place. And right now, it's the whole, it's kind of the era of the power game. And EJ Tackett can do everything that a two-handed bowler can do. So the fact that people are ripping on two-handers and don't really, EJ Tackett, I mean, Robert Smith was the original two-hander.
Absolutely.
He used one hand, but that guy is a freak. He's an absolute just freak of nature. He was the original two-hander. And so it's a power game thing, and it kind of pushed, the two-handed thing pushes all the one-handed players to be better, and now you got guys, Ryan Simonelli can throw stuff everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
EJ Tackett got some of these super high rev rate one-handed guys now.
Absolutely.
That can compete
AJ Chapman.
with them.
That's
So,
another
yeah.
guy we got to watch a whole bunch, and
Man.
his game looks really slow and simple, but man, I bet you calculate his rev rate, and it's huge.
Yeah. Plastic on a league shot. Yeah, actually, I've thrown plastic on a league shot.
Visiballs.
Yeah.
Visiballs hooked a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole thing. Like, there are plastic balls that are better than the plastic balls. It feels funny to say,
Crack Spare Plus.
yeah, when you start talking about different plastic balls, like it was the white dot for me. Like the Visiballs hook more than everything else did. The clear balls hook more than the
clear
Visiballs.
balls were insane.
Clear balls were awesome. So yeah,
Clear
new to bowling. What pairs of shoes would you recommend? I don't know that I necessarily go crazy because the shoes can get. I mean, shoes are. Get a pair of high dollar shoes, they're every bit as expensive as a high dollar ball. So
100%.
I do like the nines, but they're 200 plus.
They're expensive to own.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're a great pair of shoes that'll last you forever. It really depends on how crazy you want to get with it, though.
They've got interchangeable heels and soles at 130, 140, 150 price points now. Buy what's comfortable, something you can bowl in, and you're going to be fine.
Thoughts on the current state of the PBA? That's probably too big of a question to get into right now. What would you change? The PBA is actually getting better. If you watch the stuff, the PBA League stuff from Maine.
Oh my God, that is
Man,
I've
that
never
is
had more
the
fun
best.
watching the PBA in my life.
That is the best because they get so excited and so enthusiastic. I think what they tried to do there for a little while is they tried to be more like golf. They tried to be all, quiet and golf clap and everything, and it just got too boring and stale and dull, and it was. It just got awful for a while, but now things are getting kind of exciting again, and so it's more fun to watch now than it used to be. So I think that they figured some things out. I kind of like what the PBA is doing right now, so I wouldn't.
I really on board the extra frame.
Yeah, I would say just keep doing what they're doing. Just keep building on what they're doing right now. It may not be perfect right now, but what they're definitely going in the right direction. I like the direction.
I think if we can find a way to kind of keep it where it is and get back to where the money used to be, if we can get sponsors to support the PBA like they used to, I think the formats now are so much better. I mean, even the NFL at one point was looking at cutting games back to preserve players. 56 games a week in 4 days is really tough on these guys, but really good job what the PBA is doing. What are you seeing?
There's a Bruce Thoman comment down there. We'll have to get to that.
No, we'll get there.
What storm ball is comparable to new Rotogrip? Hypercell, nothing. I mean, if you take a Sherlock and you polish the living crap out of it,
If you have a
you're
polisher,
probably you're close. But there's really Storm doesn't have anything like the Fused right now. They just don't. So thanks for doing it. Yep. Appreciate it. It's a whole lot of fun. So
this is actually a really great time. I mean, we've been here for a couple hours. It doesn't even feel like it.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it. So thanks, Luke and Andrew. Thanks for joining me, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks, FF. Hashtag Anthony. Codex be a perfect step up from a Code Black. If you like the Code Black, want a little bit more of everything, it's going to be perfect, I'm pretty sure. Still young and wet behind the ears. Heck yep. No, I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie. I think my stepson actually got it, so it's up there. So we'll have to go check it out.
Hi, Angel.
Hi. But you didn't read my book.
Huh? Well, I'm. Yeah.
And you have a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I bought.
It keeps dinging, but there's questions and.
I'm gonna take this next one.
Yeah.
What's with all the Hello Kitty everywhere? Is there a story behind that?
You did say you were going to talk about that.
We did say we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're trying to.
I really don't know where Hello Kitty came from.
I know exactly.
But I remember the shirt that started the cat trend.
So if you go to my Facebook page, just search my name, go to my Facebook page. There's a picture. My profile picture is of me with there's a little kitten that's like standing up, and there's lightning bolts going everywhere. We saw that shirt, and I'm like, I gotta have it because I mean, cats
It's
and
bold.
lightning
It's
bolts.
a very bold shirt.
And so it was a cat thing. Yeah, there was the whole shirt thing, and
Show
then
the face of the camera.
the cat kind of morphed into the Hello Kitty. I'm not exactly sure where the connection came from, but it was just
a team name thing. Somebody said you needed to have a team name to make up.
And Hello
to go
Kitty,
with
yeah.
The cat.
Hello Kitty was just the easiest. Yeah, it was the team name to go with the shirt, and so we were Hello Kitty, and then the Hello Kitty
just
turned into Hello Kitty. So we've actually got hashtag Hello Kitty shirts that were jerseys that we're getting from Apparel EFX.
Yeah.
For nationals, so that'll be fun.
We'll show you those for sure. They're really good looking. Lots of pink. Hello Kitty just stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just it's great.
And yeah, it is great. Hit the cat.
Yeah.
Hit the cat. There it is.
Just FYI, we probably are going to shut this down at 10 o'clock. We got about 17 minutes left. So hopefully we can catch up with all the questions. We've been going at this for a while, though. And
I would just say turn the chat off at 10, and then you guys finish rambling after.
we can't. That didn't even. It doesn't work like that. The chat and the video go simultaneously. Anyway, Anthony's been up since what, 3:30? 3 o'clock?
Yeah, it's actually 2:45 this morning.
Yeah, Anthony's been up for a while, so we're going to try to...
And then Angel fed me, so that also added to my tired.
Rick Hamlin is awesome. Rick Hamlin is indeed the man. Eche's insoles for bowling shoes, just use like Dr. Scholl's stuff. I've used that stuff before. It's just regular insoles. PBA in Maine's the best. Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Can I watch PBA bowling on ESPN? Yeah, it's actually the PBA bowling is on ESPN. So
as a matter of fact, it's the longest lasting sport on ESPN.
Yeah.
They just had a big deal about that. It's since ESPN's been a thing, they've hosted bowling on ESPN. So really, really neat.
Angles of the layout.
FF got me.
Yeah.
Thanks, FF.
Yeah. Angles. Basically what the Rico layout is the pin is in your palm, and then the CG is like way out to the side. It's like 90 degrees to the side. So it's just a really, really smooth, controlled reaction.
I remember it is right in center of. That's where the pin is. It's right in the center of your hand. When I Rico something, I typically kick the CG out somewhere around 45 degrees. And I do not Rico anything asymmetric. Just it doesn't roll the same.
Oh dang, we're down at the bottom of the. Heck yeah,
we're already there.
How many people? What? Oh, maybe.
Looks like a plumber's crack. Hold on a second, Kyle Moore.
Hello Kitty looks like plumber crack.
That's a cute chick.
How many people with house bowls does it take to ruin a shot in your opinion?
How many what?
I don't know. We don't really bowl with a whole lot of people with house balls. That's kind of a It's kind of a tragic situation if you're in a league when you have a lot of people using
I will
house
also
balls.
well I'll say also that I get to bowl after
#shim to win.
Sometimes we bowl after the youth league, and a lot of those kids will throw some plastic and some house balls and that sort of thing. And I've gone from where it doesn't seem like it makes a difference to where they just flat out hook because the oils move so much. Shims in different parts of the lane. But not in league ever.
Pin down layout for straighter players. Maybe.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it depends. Sometimes the pin or the straighter players need pin up layouts to create a little bit more shape.
Yep.
But sometimes they can not be aggressive enough. So it really depends on your speed. Lefty for a regular house shot, been struggling. Always have to seem to move right. Probably would put you in a pin down layout. If you're having to move right, pin down layout's going to be smoother, especially with lefties. Being that I bowl left-handed and right-handed, the left side of the lane is the reaction is sharper, so you kind of have a smaller area to get to the pocket. I think that for me, the left side of the lane seems to have almost half the amount of boards that you can throw out to get to the pocket. I think that the reaction's better on the left side of the lane. If you hit the pocket, you're going to carry more often, in my opinion. But there's a smaller window to get to the pocket. On the right lane, you have a lot larger area that you can put the ball in to get to the pocket, but sometimes carry is suspect.
I think my rebuttal to that would be, do you think Simonelli agrees with that?
Yeah. Hashtag carry. Best ball cleaner.
Anything better than nothing.
Yeah. Powerhouse Energizer is pretty good.
Yep. Energizer smells really good. Cleans really well. You can use it before, during, and after.
Yeah.
So kind of a good deal.
I do have a lot of Hello Kitty stuff. I have a Hello Kitty blanket. I have a Hello Kitty steering wheel.
Yeah.
Really heavy, thick oil pattern.
We got Hello Kitty patches for our bowling show.
Oh, yeah. Heavy and thick oil pattern. The shot is down and in there. Sherlock. Sherlock's gonna take care of everything. Oh, dear. Product where it extends the life of the bowling ball. We're not going to talk purple stuff or hook juice or anything like. Dear God.
Just use more hook juice in a bathtub.
Oh my God. It does something. I'm not sure if it works or what it does, but
and it puts an invisible force field around the bowling ball.
Yeah. I don't even know.
You can probably do 9 balls at a time in a bathtub.
Yeah.
It's just $450.
Yeah. Not a fan. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, anytime, Ray. Appreciate it. Yes, I did. I don't know if I've seen the picture. I'll have to check my email. I'll check and get back to you, Ray, okay? I actually like watching the PWBA because more than the PWB or the PBA, because PWBA feels like Pete Weber was saying. I wish never this stuff. PWBA seems like more classic bowling. It's more bowling. It's the same. It's stylish, and I think the women, because they don't. Most of them don't put as much on the ball. They have to make better shots. I'm not the biggest fan of seeing power bail you out of a bad shot, and on the PWBA most of the time they pay for their mistakes, and so it's just more like classic bowling to me. So I do like watching the PWBA. So
PWBA reminds me when the PBA first went to Sport Patterns.
Yeah, it's the accuracy over the power factor. Well, my wife's pretty nice to look at, so I don't go to the PWBA looking for women. So if you've heard the several comments in my opinion videos about balls having back end like my wife, heck yeah, Borkin.
However,
yeah, thanks, Sean.
One of two.
I really appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for sorry about the snafu last week. Thanks for the help. Favorite bowling ball core? That's an interesting. God.
Gas mask.
Sorry, but gas mask. Yeah, sorry. But damn.
That gas mask core is pretty fun.
Man, the original Taboo. I like me some original Taboo. Hey, Andrew, what EBI release are you the most excited for?
Right now, I'm really, really excited about the ripped hammer balls. I was really excited about the ripped, which is a hybrid cover. I just seem to have some success with hybrids. After talking to some of the sales team and some of the other bowlers that's got a chance to get these in their hands already, the ripped solid is actually climbing the list, and I haven't even got them yet.
I didn't know what this stuff tastes like. I had dipping pretzels down here the whole time.
It's fantastic.
Habano
But definitely
Room.
the rip balls from Hammer. Everything else that's been put out is fantastic. The Alias is really good. GB3 is fun. But those are the ones I'm looking forward to right now.
Radical's comprehensive Mopanel is kind of like the bowling tech god as far as layouts and all that kind of stuff goes.
Yep.
I think he can get a little. Sometimes when you're
Go
that
a little
into
overboard.
something, you can go a little bit overboard or make things way too technical or just make things harder than they need to be just because you can and just because you like doing it. But yeah, I would generally, that dual angle wiki again is just fantastic. It's pretty well gospel as far as layout stuff goes. So,
And one thing I would point out, and we've talked about the track Alias, or I have a couple of times. Layouts are more of a fine-tuning tool anymore. I mean, there's so many bowling balls. It's more important to match the bowler up with the bowling ball. Layout is more of a fine-tuning tool to kind of get it to where you really need it to be. We say all that, and then of course the track Alias comes out.
yeah.
And
The Alias and the Fix and the Radicals Fix and Quick Fix are the kind of exceptions.
right, the exceptions to the rule where you can drill symmetrically and asymmetrically. But so you know, I've seen a lot of questions about layouts and that sort of thing. The ball actually makes a bigger difference, and then of course the surface makes a much bigger difference than the layout would, as far as the shape that you're going to see.
All right. Yes, there is bowling on tomorrow. Let's see.
TOC finals.
Is an oval thumb hole better? It really depends. We were actually talking about this the other day. If you get it too wide, it actually makes the front of the thumb hole flatter and can give you issues releasing the ball. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to fit your thumb shape, but sometimes it can be a little weird.
You don't want to have a squeezer with a really flat, really tall oval, but you don't want somebody who can't hang on to the ball with a really round thumb. So it takes a little bit of art and a little bit of science to figure that out.
Yep, Tournament Champions is on tomorrow. Thank you, FF. My high series is 823. My high 3 games in a row is 848. I know that you got some monster stuff.
I've shot 864. I shot 848 a couple weeks ago. That was a few years back. It's been a long time since I put up some really big numbers like that, but 864 is highest set ever, and that was sanctioned.
Yeah, generally I don't go too low, but I'm not really the really big series. I'm more the guy that's going to go 220, 220, 220 than shooting really big stuff, really, really low stuff. So
You strike 10 times a game, but you miss in like the second and the ninth.
yeah.
So you shoot like 250 with the you shoot the best looking 250s I've ever seen.
Yeah, just that one paralyzing frame that just kind of ruins everything.
It's a 4-9 roll, 4-pin or something crazy.
The Pitch Black actually has an updated urethane cover stock. They've started to go back to like some of the hammer balls. They've started using just old school pure urethane,
like the True Motion
because
and the Black Hammer.
Yeah, because some of these people, some of the people on the new urethane balls, they don't like how much they hook, and so they kind of went back to just doing traditional urethane. Radical Rick Hamlin, any day of the week. That guy is so smart that it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'd take Rick Hamlin over really anybody, anytime, any day. So hope anyone but Jesper wins. Hashtag two-handed hate. Do not want to see Belmo win. Poor Belmo. Should be fun to watch. I mean, majors are, and again, Belmo gets up for majors, so
he really puts it on for a
we'll see what happens. But 540 series good for a youth bowler. Has been bowling for 9 months. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take a Pittsburgh race over.
Yeah. Well, we got 5 minutes before we're gonna go off here, but anything could be done to fix the Hustle ink. What do you want to fix? I think you're the guy that we were talking about earlier that just doesn't match up with the Hustle ink, which is really funny. So, okay.
I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back to say that.
Yep. Just change the surface. That's all you gotta do is change the surface. One and only 800, 824, 246, 300, 278. My story about my 800 is kind of funny because I never had a shot at 300 at any point in the set. I went spare sheet for 290. Next game I went spare sheet for 279. And the last game I went spare like next 8 or next 8 or something. And I ended up with 250, I believe. However the math works out, 250, 240. However it works out. But yeah, I did not strike in the first frame of any of the 3 games, which is kind of interesting. But favorite lane material over the course of your career, I like synthetic HPL. Now, Lane Shield that hasn't been beaten all to hell. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Lane Shield, but Lane Shield that hasn't been... Angel's going to sub in for Anthony. Anthony has left us for a minute, but Angel's going to sub in, so maybe with a puppy.
Yeah.
Come here, Missile. Come here.
Yes.
Come here, sweetie. Come on. Come on. You come see Mama. Yeah, 800s are hard. I think the one thing that I keep, every time I shoot 800, I say I never want to do this again because it's hard. I mean, it's 3 solid hours. 300 is just, it gets over with quick, and you don't really think too much about it until the 10th frame when you're thinking, okay, well, I have a chance to get up and finish this now. But in 800, I mean, if you go 279, it's really hard to get into that last game with 550 going in and not think about 800 the entire rest of the games. It's just 800 is so hard. It's just crazy.
Oh, wait, let me see
so,
the
huh?
I want to be a brat. Give me. Let me see. Don't read it. Don't.
Oh, doesn't Rico make way too much bob? It can. You probably have to put a weight hole in it. How do you like the Sonic? I really like the Sonic. It's a lot of hook, but I really like the Sonic. Really big fan, actually. 800 average hump.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I bring you over here?
Dang. There are the 200 average hump. That's one of those things that once it happens, it happens.
The 2 dogs are outside. Just kept the chair warm.
Yeah. Sweet. We got a little space heater running here too. That's pretty awesome. But spares are big. The one thing that when you start getting bigger scores is you get excited about strikes. But the biggest thing that can help you with bigger scores is focus on your spares, focus on hitting the pocket, pick up your spares, take the strikes when you get them, and your average will go up, guaranteed.
Well, think about the difference between a 11 strike 9-0 game at 267 and the difference of 279. How many times have you made or lost money because you missed by 12 pins?
Yeah.
13, 14, 15 pins, and that's one miss.
Well, that's the tournament that we went to a couple weeks ago in Kansas, where we were at.
Raytown.
Yeah, Raytown. We went to this tournament, and I missed a couple spares the last couple games, and an easy spare. It was a 3-6 and a 4-pin, and I finished 12th, but I was 12 pins out of 5th. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't a ton of money, but it was money, so I wasn't happy.
But 7 places.
Yeah, always nice to be 169 over for 2. Yeah, I've had 579 going in a couple times. One time I didn't shoot.
Yeah.
One time I didn't shoot 800. The other time I did shoot 800. So
my best friend used to call me the god of 589 and no 800.
Yeah, dude, you want to talk about what's even worse? I'm in the 799 club, which is a very exclusive club. I needed the first one, the 10th, and then 9. And I got the first one, the 10th. I left a 610, and I chopped the 10 off the 6 for 799. So
I've seen that
that's
happen
pretty
with
awesome.
Somebody else before.
Storm Wipeout.
Wipeout. Wow.
Wipeout. Let me think here. If you took a match up solid and took the shine off of it, that might be close. Hustle Inc. and took the... Well, no, that's not quite... Wipeout. That's really pretty interesting.
Maybe a Rico Hustle Inc.
Yeah. I would actually wait for a little bit. The show-off is a lot of ball. It's kind of the same shape, but it's a lot more ball. I'm not entirely sure on that one, so... Andrew who? Ha ha ha. 2 900 series. I've never heard of Dale Gerhard, but which is interesting.
Matt O'Grady.
Yeah. 900 series is just, it's stupid rare.
There's what, 30?
Yeah, it's a little over 30 of them. Yeah, Robert Mushtair is who I think you're thinking of, FF. Yeah, the doggy's awesome. Missile is just crazy cool.
They really have some fantastic dogs.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them. You've only seen a couple, maybe, but there's 3.
Yeah. NRP seems condition specific. Hope the Sonic will be the answer. NRP is kind of condition specific. I still have it. I still throw it a lot, especially at tournaments. I really like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Have a rising, smells delicious. First 600, 100% 10-pin hit. Yeah, get your spares. That's what we were just talking about. So that's, I mean, that seriously.
Is Earl going to get to 900?
No,
I don't think so.
I've watched several of those videos, and it's just
the fact that it got to 300 is extremely impressive.
I didn't even know it got to. Well, I haven't watched all the videos, but I didn't know that it even got to 300. But
that's impressive.
It's whoever it's ball selection. It's whoever's picking the balls for Earl. That's the thing. Is
right.
Watching the first couple episodes, it was just the shape. I didn't like the shape going into the pins. So
for those of you that have a big score, 750, 800, 850, you didn't
punch
nail every shot. There was always a messenger. There was a roll 4. There's always a couple that you get away with, and when you want to program a machine to throw a perfect score, you have to program the machine perfectly, and that's
it
it's
really
like
comes
golf.
down to it comes down to operator sometimes. Definitely ready for nationals. James
Can't
Hilton.
wait.
James
It's gonna
Hilton.
be awesome.
Yep. Google that one. All right, we actually made it to the end of the questions, so I think that we're going to go on ahead and call it a night. It's a little past 10. I'm sure 900 ring is freaking awesome. So
I'll let you know when I get mine.
yeah. All right. We want to thank everybody for watching. This was way too much fun than people should be allowed to have. I mean,
this really is awesome. Who doesn't like drinking beer, hanging out with their buddies? And
I mean, it took me the entire day to set this up, and some craziness last night going on with it. But yeah, this was a whole ton of fun, and it's gonna. Angel's gonna get a laptop, I think, so that we don't have to bring the entire PC
Set down here?
from the. Yeah, this is a little overkill here. Hopefully, I mean, if somebody's laptop had Windows 8 or something on it, that would have probably been helpful.
Oh man!
Or if I wouldn't have a Chromebook, because the Chromebook doesn't run on Windows. So yeah, thanks a bunch. We're definitely gonna do this again. I don't know how often it's gonna happen, but we're definitely gonna do this again. Appreciate all the support. This is just way beyond awesome.
All these things. Look at all this. This is crazy. You guys are fantastic.
This is so cool. So
this is nuts.
Yeah.
It's going so fast.
Yeah,
you guys don't even
scrolling
understand.
through everybody's saying thanks. It really is pretty awesome. Especially like I said, my wife has really appreciated all this because she was kind of nervous when she got on the videos, but the response has been perfect. And then with Storm stepping in and saying that they're gonna make sure that she's in all the reviews, and it's just way too much fun. So I am going to go ahead and shut it off right now, but thanks a bunch for watching. We really appreciate it. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah, until then, bowl and drink beer.
Yep. Norseman Brewing Company.